on and off the sounds of what seems like moaning and crying. Very solemn, very sad. It's nothing constant, but it's something that his ears pick up on. After his 2 hours of watch, he wakes up Valeria and shares this with her, and Valeria starts to hear it. But nothing comes out, to which Chris Thalion posed the question of, do you want to go check it out?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I didn't make dinner.
That's quite all right. You're just sleeping anyway.
Okay, so make sure I caught everything. So then, this is still the middle of the watch?
Right now, it's the beginning of the second watch. Watch is only something that takes place over 2 hours during the long rest, so there needs to be a 4-person rotation. You were first, Valeria's second, Droman's taking the third, and Zirak is making Moonlight take the 4th watch over the king. And there's this sort of that kind of goes in and out with the wind through this event.
I agree. Leaving out too far from the camp in the middle of the night is not really a good idea. Maybe we should, during the rotation, once Zarek is up, we should have him check more with Moonlight.
I guess I'll just go and take my watch now. If I see any monsters, I'll yell.
Okay. Thalion, you sort of snuggle up against Garshadow a bit. It gets cold at night. It's fine during the day, but once that sun goes down, it drops into the sort of lower 30s. It gets pretty chilly out. So find comfort in the big warmth of just snuggling with the lion is like perfect. You sort of restoke the fire, Valeria, trying to coax more light out of it during your watch, throwing on some more of the wood that Welf and Tristan brought in. Mm-hmm. And just every now and then, in like sporadic moments, you hear that kind of moaning and crying that just seems to go up and down in volume before disappearing.
Does it sound like we're a grown person, or is that kind of hard to tell?
It's kind of hard to tell. You can just tell that it's crying.
Okay.
But the voice does seem to have some bass to it, some depth. It's not high-pitched or whiny, but it just seems to be this low, mournful kind of moaning and crying. Somebody as sensitive as you, kind of emotional, kind of picks up on it, and it sort of kind of pulls at your heartstrings a little bit because it's very sad.
Yeah. He's just
after a while,
yeah.
After a while, 2 hours kind of flows.
Okay.
See, if you just
Wait
let that
for
baby
him.
cry, it stops eventually.
You wake up Droman for his watch. What do you-
I let him know that there's some crying going on. Don't go looking for it. We're gonna go check it out in the morning, or maybe when Zerak's up. But just be aware that it's been going on for a couple hours now.
Okay, don't go looking for trouble. Got it.
And almost as soon as you kind of get up and kind of straighten yourself out, you immediately hear it, Drummond. No straining, as your ears are sort of in tune with the warning and kind of already searching for sound, when the kind of crying over the wind, before the wind kind of overtakes the sound and it dissipates. You go sit by the fire, and like 15 minutes later, it comes back. And then the wind overtakes the sound. And then 5 minutes, it comes back before the wind overtakes the sound. And then it's another like 40 minutes of sort of like sitting there, concentrating, looking out over the grasslands towards the trees, up towards the mountains, and kind of looking everywhere, that it comes back again and fades. There's no real pattern to it. It's not like a train whistle, like every 10 minutes it goes off, but it's just in and out. And then almost as soon as you forget about it, it pops into your ear. And then you look around. It's a very strange sensation.
Very annoying.
I don't know, I'm sleeping right through it.
Well, Valeria said not to go investigate, so I'm just gonna sit here.
Your 2 hours comes up. It's
Gonna
kind of an odd thing, because Zerak does say, don't wake him up if you don't need to. But it is Moonlight's rest. Or it's time for Moonlight's watch. So how do you go about letting Moonlight know it's...
I'll send my mage hand in there to kind of rock him a little bit and poke him like...
Well, Moonlight is perched up on a tree branch overlooking the camp anyway. He probably, being a nocturnal animal, flies around and catches a couple field mice and comes back and snacks on them.
Okay, I'll just point at him like, you got this? Yes, bird? Yes, yes. Come on, bird. You want this? You want this? Yes, yeah. I'll take that as a yes.
That's a yes. So, yeah, I'll Moonlight will just stay up on his perch, kind of watching the camp. Obviously, Moonlight can't stoke the fire or anything, so it might die out.
We'll say that Droman knew that the owl's taken the last bit of watch before dawn and kind of threw on a good bit of fire on there to kind of keep it going through the night with what he estimates is enough wood to kind of go on until everybody starts waking up. And almost as soon as Moonlight just sort of pops out of the tent and then sort of flaps and lands up top, he then begins to hear that crying sound very clearly over the way compared to everybody else that was kind of picking it up. It actually goes on for longer, but for some reason it's ringing very clearly in your owl's hearing senses compared to everybody else.
I would like Moonlight to fly over and investigate the source of the sound.
Okay.
Staying about 20, 30 feet in the air, but trying to locate at least which direction, what's making the sound.
He's following the sound and going directly east. I guess the thing that troubles Moonlight's mind as he flies is that it stays the same volume as he kind of soars quietly through the darkness, looking over. He can see the breeze making the wind sort of the breeze making the grass wave and dance below him, the glittering of the moon and stars across the water. And he's flying and flying and flying. But the sound, there is no leaps and breaks for Moonlight. But he can hear the crying. But it's not raising in volume. It's staying that same tone. As it
Okay.
continues. After about 30 minutes of sort of soaring and flying and kind of taking everything out, he makes it to the edge of what seems to be a very thick forest of large cedars and brambles, kind of out on the edge, and kind of has to fly up a little bit through the thickness of it. Finding some areas to dive down underneath the tree line if he so wishes to do so. But it's a very busy forest floor that he can see through the edges. Tall bushes, vines, things sort of fighting to crawl higher and over each other to kind of get towards what little sunlight breaks through the tall cedar tree line. There's not a lot of humans up here or other things that would come through and maybe clear paths. Very untouched, very thick.
Well, Moonlight will kind of hesitate at the edge of the forest because otherwise he might get far too distracted trying to go after the crawly things. So, not finding the source of the noise, he will return to camp.
As he's returning with his 19, he does see a marmot kind of pop up through the grass and begin like scurrying through the grass, if he so wishes to try to.
Oh, he dives. He's going to dive bomb that little guy.
Go ahead and make an attack with advantage. Ooh, he catches the marmot. Lands on it, kind of breaks his back. Kind of nips at the neck a little bit before flapping up into the sky again, holding his feast. And then flies back to camp and kind of lands. The fire's still bright, although halfway down from where it was from where Droman left it. But, I mean, ever present in Moonlight's ears is that sort of mournful crying.
Yeah, he's trying to distract himself with his meal and trying to ignore the sound. But I mean, given that he has such a low intelligence, he might just impart to Zarak in the morning that there's some woods over there. It might be coming from there.
The sky starts turning from its dark navy blue to a more bruised pinkish purple as the sun now begins to rise. Morning has come. The watch is over. Seemingly with the coming of the sun, the crying has sort of ebbed away and hasn't returned.
So, Mark, I can drop one of my exhaustion levels since I slept through the night.
Yeah, you should actually be fully cleansed of exhaustion.
It had me at 2 when I looked at my sheet.
Yeah, you should be. You should have been fully cured, my man. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Everybody begins to wake up. Faye kind of gets up. You can see that she actually goes out a little bit with Tristan. She comes back with kind of like an apron full of things, as not Wealth, but Tristan is kind of carrying what seems to be one of the red deer that he kind of hunted and brought back. Started cleaning, and then they kind of whip up a nice, really good breakfast. A bunch of roots and kind of stewed greens and like a pot of water. Kind kind of bland, but very filling. And you guys get everything packed up, get onto the horses, and begin sort of trudging your way through the grasslands. Really taking your time through this area, as the tall grass kind of hides a lot of dips and some like holes and fall-throughs. It's very muddy when you get really close towards the creek beds. Just being careful not to sort of break your horse's legs as you kind of wind through this area.
I'd like to keep Drummond would like to keep a watch out for any signs of other travelers, just in case somebody was out there. I'd like to just keep.
Okay, give me just go ahead and give me a perception check. Okay. You guys travel another day through the valley, this time kind of getting closer towards the wood line. And as you guys begin to, the further you go east, you start to realize that the mountains kind of start to funnel in a little bit. And like the valley was almost in the shape of a football. So it sort of opened up after that small little rocky, craggy pass you guys fought the Ettins in, into this valley, where through the years these creeks and kind of brooks have broken apart to kind of erode the ground in between. And now it's sort of starting to come back together, and you can see the sides of the mountains and the cliffs like coming closer and closer as the valley kind of wends its way further east. Another night passes, another watch. The same crying noise. To different ears, the same thing. It seems to be carried with the wind, as odd as that sounds. And the wind takes it. The wind takes it away. It comes again, and again. There's no sporadic pattern. If Moonlight takes another watch, he never hears it stop. He always hears the constant crying and moaning, until the sun rises again and the moaning and crying leave.
Do we notice if it's always the same distance, or is it getting closer, or from the same direction?
It's always the same volume. It's always coming with the wind.
And the wind is always coming from the same direction?
And the wind is blowing from the east to the west. So you guys are sort of riding and walking into the wind as you travel east over the mountains. And the sort of cool, crisp air coming down from the snow peaks coming down, taking it. I mean, there's lots of things that you can try to point to. You know, maybe it's just not a crying. Maybe it's like an audio illusion that you guys are hearing, that the wind is sort of scraping through this valley, going in between rocks and sort of making this kind of moaning sound. But there's almost too much.
Is the wind blowing during the day, or is it
blows during the day? The wind always blows up here. It's like being next to the ocean. There's always a wind blowing in, no matter what. And it's sort of a steady, medium pace that brings a nice breeze. That's almost like soothing to the soul. It feels so good. You guys wake back up, and then you begin to move further west, or not west, further east. It's starting to get a little bit more craggy and rocky through here, and you can see that there's actually a higher concentration of creeks, little rivers, and brooks wending and snaking their way through this particular area. And so if you look up, and the cliff faces on either side are towering. They go up probably 500 feet from what you can see during the day, casting huge shadows in the early morning, only really being lit up right around noon when the sun is directly above you guys and kind of flashing down. Do you guys kind of keep with the same?
I'll take a watch.
Do you guys kind of keep with the same watch as you guys kind of ride through, or do you guys want to send somebody ahead? Like, let me know what you guys want to do.
I'll take a watch, but if they want me to scout ahead, I can scout ahead.
And just so you
I'm
guys
playing
know,
Wealth, guys.
Chris
Just so
is
you guys
playing
know.
Wealth right now.
What time of day is it right now?
Right now, I'm going to say it's the afternoon, and you guys are starting to walk through this kind of, I mean, not as big as the Grand Canyon, but it's sort of Grand Canyon-esque. You guys are following these brooks and creeks and little rivers, kind of winding your way through what seems to be the ass end of this valley. And just the tall, kind of Grand Canyon-esque, like cliff face and sides on each side of you that kind of get tighter and tighter the more you go east, as there's a gradual climb that's kind of starting as you guys begin to make your way. It's an incline that you'll only notice once you sort of stand up and try to get your bearings and your balance, and you feel yourself kind of wobble backwards a bit and notice that, yeah, you're kind of on this minute incline that's gradually going higher up into the mountains from where you guys currently are.
Can I walk ahead a little bit and just see if I see any tracks or anything suspicious?
Yeah, did you want to take Wealth, the scout, with you?
Sure, I'll go with Wealth as a bodyguard.
Because one of Wealth's abilities is if somebody does go scout with him, he can add a d6 to your roll. It's kind of like a free.
Okay, I'll go as a bodyguard and such.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a perception check. Go ahead and give Wealth a perception check as well, Chris, since you're playing.
So yeah,
And
six.
roll a d6. Yep, a d6. Okay, so 18, not bad. As you guys are sort of trundling through it, it's kind of refreshing that this very young human next to you has quite a bit of knowledge when it comes to sort of scouting out ground and looking about. Even though his perception is kind of lacking as he's sort of trying to point some things out to you, which is kind of patronizing that you feel to yourself because you're fucking Rovania. You were born in the wilderness. Like, who is this guy? But he's actually sort of helping you out a bit. What were you looking for again?
Anything suspicious, tracks, things like that.
Okay. You guys sort of range out a little bit ahead. I'll say, how far do you guys go? Like,
Oh, and also listen out here.
67.
I also want to see if I hear any moaning or anything else too, like anything unusual in the wind. Still, it's
you guys don't hear any moaning.
Is this daytime or nighttime?
It's daytime.
nighttime.
You do hear the sounds of animals, the ever-present rush of water, kind of bubbling and burbling and kind of making its way over rocks down through this valley. The ever-present sound of the wind, just kind of whistling against the rocks. The sound of the leaves, sort of cascading in and out with the waves of the breeze that come in. It's actually quite peaceful.
Perhaps we should come back during the night when when we hear the howling, because it seems to be only coming at night.
But as Wealth sort of points out something and you look in that direction, something catches your eye. This sort of mound of dirt and rock further up, probably about another 75 feet away from where you currently are, kind of up this slope.
Does it look familiar, like what we saw with the rats?
No, not so much that. This is much bigger in size, and you can actually see like broken slabs of granite and what other stone would be there? Just like granite stone, kind of up along the edges. Like this is like glacial till up here. Very thick, dark, heavy soil. Lots and lots of small pebbles and stones. Very rocky. Once you
Does
look up.
Ravanian point that out to me as well? Do I see it?
Yeah,
I'll say that as you look over and you kind of see his eyes, you follow it, and you can kind of see it too after.
It doesn't look natural. Maybe it's a burial mound. About the size of it. Shall we confirm?
I don't want to say too far from the party, so when they get up close to us, I'll point it out to them, and then maybe we'll forge on ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
After about 5 or 10 minutes, they slowly make their way up the incline towards where you guys have sort of walked up ahead, and then finally do catch.
I want to point out to the party in case anyone else has seen something like it.
Does it look like a burial mound? Would I have, since living in the Barrowlands, would I have seen something similar like this?
Right now, it's too far away from where you are to kind of get an actual idea, but it doesn't look like a burial mound.
Okay.
I ask Zarek, do you think Moonlight can take a look and come back? See if it's anything we need to be worried about?
If
How
it's
far
less
away?
than 100 feet away,
75.
if it's more,
It's about, the
If it's
first
about
one
that.
that they point out is about 75 feet away from you.
okay, then yes. If it's something like that, I'd rather Moonlight stay within communication of me. So I will allow Moonlight to range out as far as we can still communicate.
He takes
Just
off,
up to 100.
up into the air. How far can you look through?
As long as he's within 100 feet of me, I can close my eyes and use his senses.
Okay, you fly up into the air, or Moonlight flies up, and you close your eyes, and you see through his eyes, and that immediate rush that you always get that never seems to dissipate whenever you sort of take in his vision of you flying up and soaring over the mountains, seeing the party like way down below you, and then circling off. And immediately as you look, getting a literal bird's eye view of this rocky uphill plain with these creeks and rivers, it is dotted with craters. You look up to the sides of the cliffs on either side, and
Yeah,
you see rocks and broken precipices, but there's craters in the ground here, ranging, it looks like 5 foot to 10 feet in diameter, where the ground has just been kind of thrown up, like kind of violently along the sides, kind of making these sort of crater-like indentations in the dirt. Some of them have diverted these rocks these creeks around them, through moonlight, as you can see them kind of soar overhead. And this is what it looks like.
Wow, there's a lot of them.
So if I fly a little bit closer to these craters, does it look like they're from something having impacted the Earth or something coming out from inside the Earth?
Would that be a Xerac perception, or does that have to be perception through?
If I'm using Xerax, or if Xerac is looking through Moonlights, I believe that I get to use Xerax.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception. As Xerac, or as Moonlight flies closer and kind of circles around the rim of one as you kind of.
Nice.
As you go through, it's odd. Some look like impacts from above, and then some look like something has exploded through and shot out. And the ones that have actually exploded through are the larger ones, the 10-foot diameter ones. And it seems like the 5-foot diameter ones, something has sort of fallen from the cliff face maybe and kind of landed in.
Okay. Well, after getting a good view of the topography here, I'll kind of open my eyes and explain to the group that it looks like primordials fought a war of some kind on these mountainsides, as the ground itself shows damage from their wars. There are craters both exploding and from impact along the mountains ahead.
Were you able to see inside the crater? I mean, was it like a tunnel, or was there dirt?
I wasn't going to allow Moonlight to fly inside the ground without us right there. But you're willing. I'm more than willing to let you go investigate. Go ahead.
is this a direct path?
Oh my God, they're moving.
Sorry, I forgot that I needed to make some of them 10 feet in diameter.
Like, oh, what? They're moving as I speak.
It is directly up ahead. We should
There you go.
we should approach them soon.
Moonlight didn't happen to see any of these primordials around.
I saw no evidence of other living creatures other than natural forest creatures in the area.
We might want to avoid going along where the cliffs are at in case something throws a boulder down on top of us. If you say some of these are from impacts.
Marcus, which is a bigger one or a smaller one closest to us?
It's actually a bigger one. This one is the one that you guys originally spotted. And you guys are kind of making your way carefully through this large intersection. You guys can see where a bunch of these creeks have sort of starting to break off and kind of eroding through the ground here and slowly wend their way into that valley. Like, this is something that took thousands and thousands of years to do for this water to kind of cut in through here. But these holes are definitely not thousands and thousands of years old. Just judging by the color of the soil to get closer, it is very wet. So it is easy, perhaps, to make an impact this big in this sort of mix of muddy and hard soil. But yeah, the closer you guys get, you see what seems to be a lot of dark, brownish, blackish colored soil, lots of pieces of small granite, bits of marble, lots of stones, and what seem to be larger chunks of stone on the outside, and this sort of crater that's almost 10 feet deep, 10 feet wide. And as you guys kind of peek over the rim and kind of look down, there isn't a tunnel that continues at all.
There's not?
Nope. It's kind of weird, I guess. The way to describe the look of it would probably be like the way a belly button looks.
Okay.
An innie. Where it almost looks like it kind of caved in on itself a little bit, and it has like these strange sort of wrinkles and lines kind of meeting, but not exactly in the center. Like some of them meet up in a corner or directly in the middle or off into the side. It's kind of strange, but it seems like the soil, heavy and wet, kind of folded back in on itself as it sort of either erupted out or was sort of broken out and blown up from the outside.
Can I check
can I
the
tell-
edge of this hole for like any type of flesh or anything that might come from a creature if it had came?
I was just about to ask that.
Okay. It sounds like Wealth is helping you, so go ahead and give me a perception check, and then you can add a d6 to your roll as Wealth is kind of assisting you with. So there's no signs of flesh. You walk up and you can see what seems to be like quartz glass, little bits of like crystal kind of mixed in with this sort of layers of thick granite and kind of marbleish stone underneath. But there are like grooves, huge grooves that kind of go off to the side and kind of meld away.
Can you tell if this is recent?
You can give me a intelligence check. Give me a survival check.
Survival? Okay.
Yeah, give me a survival check as you sort of looking on this. It's very hard to tell. It looks recent, but you don't know if it's because of how damp the soil is always kept here. Just with the amount of moisture, there's no sort of like drying or anything like that. You can see everything's still pretty moist and muddy as you kind of touch it and feel it. But again, as you move your hands off to the side to the regular soil that you guys are walking on, there's a sort of layer of moisture that's constantly there just from the amount of liquid that kind of pours through this. Probably from the glacier melt and the upper Middleburg Lake further up ahead.
Mark, on this, is this part like right here? Is this water like a stream?
Yep. Yep, it's a stream that's breaking off into two and kind of separating, and you guys are kind of making your way through all these.
I would like. Is this smaller? How far is this smaller crater from the big crater?
20 feet.
Okay. I would like to go and investigate the smaller one, maybe because see if there's something different about it.
Okay, so we'll say that Thalion got off his worth, one over here, and then
Can I keep my eye out for anything flying towards us?
Welf is going to make his way over and kind of investigate the smaller one. And you look at it, and it is much different. The debris field around the rim isn't as violent as the larger one. As this one looks like something fell from the sky and penetrated through the dirt. But again, it leaves that weird belly button looking crater inside with the folds of dirt that kind of came in on itself.
Okay.
Give me a perception check, Rovanian. What's everybody else doing besides Welf, Thalion, and Rovanian, and Zirak?
Valeria's getting impatient. She's like, why are we investigating these things? Can't we just go around them and continue forward?
You do make a good point.
I agree with Valeria that this seems like an occurrence that shouldn't stop us from proceeding to the lake.
A waste of our daylight. We should probably make haste to where we need to go.
Haste but cautiously. We're checking this just to make sure nothing is going to ambush us. With what we found out, that should be enough for us to proceed cautiously and just keep an eye out for any possible flying debris or anything that might be moving beneath the ground.
Rovanian,
With Welf?
Rovanian, as you sort of look around, as everybody's still looking towards the craters, and then Zirak begins to slowly kind of canter and trot carefully, taking Ophelia on a very, very tender trot through these stones and crags, kind of wending their way through. You're looking up. You do see what seems to be eagles, not very large, kind of circling and flying through before one sort of vanishes into a tree line. And as you look further east, you see a very tall mountain peak covered in what seems to be lots of angry, bubbling clouds of like a far-off storm that you can kind of see with the clarity of the sun. There are large shapes, dots, flying around this peak. Very far off, though, but large enough that you can see their dot from this far away.
Which direction is this peak?
East. It's further east, but it is a long way off. Like, it is hundreds of miles away. It's like being in, well, like, it's like being in, like, Bellingham on a clear day and somehow being able to see, like, Mount Rainier all the way off in the distance. It's kind of like that kind of distance. But you can see what seem to be black dots circling, kind of flying the rim as you slowly watch it. I mean, large enough that you could see a dot from this distance.
Well, that's troublesome. That must be pretty big. I'll point that out to the party to see that's how interesting that might be.
But would Wolf maybe have heard of like earth creatures that have that can barrel through the earth?
From where Welf has grown up in his 18 years and not really being an adventurer going out, this is definitely something new to him.
Okay.
I'll stick with Zarak.
There's like no local legends or anything like that that creatures live in the mountains that can harness the power of the earth or something like that.
Here, Leomore, and you can have Quasimodo. Thalion, stop. As you guys begin to wend your way that way, there's a rumbling in the ground. Rumbling so much so that you can actually see the downward stream of the water begin to ripple and shake a bit. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw. Who is riding with Thalion?
I believe I am.
Okay. I need Rudy and Thalion to give me a dexterity saving throw. And I also, I will need a animal handling check as well, Thalion.
Would the horse need a saving throw as well?
Oh.
Okay. And then also give me a dexterity saving throw for Noble Heart. Okay. Noble Heart senses it and starts to rear and buck away. With the animal handling check, both of you have sort of fallen from the horse, though landing on your feet and not prone, and the horse begins to ride away as a large creature bursts through the ground, leaving a very large 10-foot diameter crater.
I was thinking either that or a purple worm, but a purple worm's bigger. So
We are going to roll initiative.
I hope we didn't find a purple worm at our level.
fuck me.
Well, you're a non-combat NPC, so you don't get to do any initiative. Sorry, man.
I was just gonna run away, not just stand there.
We're gonna say you're running away.
Okay.
You're going with Tristan and Faye, and kind of trying to run away from the scene, trying to get cover.
We're trying to protect Faye. Me and I think Faye. that's our job. Or should I stay on the map, or should I just remove myself?
Just move yourself off to the side.
Back here.
Okay, so I got Rudy, Moonlight. So that's 1, Valyria 2, Row 3, Elise 4, Lamborn 5, Drummond 6, Xerax 7. I need Thalion and Garshadow.
I rolled them. They should be there.
They are not.
Thalion's a 12. Garshell's a 5.
Did it pop up that time?
It keeps popping up as your horse.
Yeah, Mark, I've noticed that I can't move the horse to the back. I can't see Elise or Xerac. I have to move the horse in order to click the tokens for Xerac. Moonlight is on top, but Ophelia remains on top of the tokens.
Oh, weird, because I was able to click on my icon token thing.
Yeah, I had to move Ophelia to be able to click on Xerac, but I'm gonna dismiss the horse here when we start. So
I moved it to the back. Can you still see? Not see?
yeah, now I'm on top. That's cool. That's what I want. Thank you.
Anybody else having that issue with their horse?
Yeah, there we go.
Me. Thank you.
Okay. Lamorn, down there on Quasimodo, are you having that issue?
I don't think so. Nope, I'm fine.
Okay, so I got everybody's initiative off their first roll in. Top of round 1, bullet explodes through the ground, sort of rearing off and leaving. This is Noble Heart's Q, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 5, 10, and Noble Heart is 40 feet off the map. Sort of just bugging out, scared as shit. Rudy. Falling off of the ground, this large, hulking, almost Stonehide-looking creature with this thick skin has sort of landed amidst a shower of mud, gravel, and debris raining down from the earth.
I think I'm gonna have to take a dip. I shall move up to here and attack it.
And 27 will hit. Almost a crit. The edges of the lightning sword come down and sort of crack and rebound, but you see through the hard carapace of this strange creature, sort of a crack start to emerge from your strike.
Alright.
Moonlight.
Moonlight is going to do a flyby the tower, just like Maverick, and try to distract it with his wings.
Ghost Rider buzzing the tower.
Yep, and then getting a little bit of distance in case something else pops out of the ground. So.
Okay. Valeria, before your turn, another rumbling. You actually watch as this little sort of pond sort of rises and then caves in a bit as the water level sinks and begins to slosh and then start to fill up again. I need Rudy and Thalion and Garshadow this time to give me a strength or dexterity saving throw. Your choice. Jeremy, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Strength or dexterity saving throw, please. Okay. You managed to dive out of the way there, away from the most of it. Thalion, you managed to dive out of the way there, away from most of it. However, Garshadow is sent flying and hurling through the air.
Oh no.
Give me a second here. I gotta manually do that. Okay, Garshadow, 5, 10, 15, landing there prone. Garshadow takes 40 points of bludgeoning and slashing damage. Thalion and Rudy, you guys... you guys only take 10 points of bludgeoning and 9 points of slashing.
Is that just from it attacking it to the ground?
As this one exploded from the earth. Valeria, now it is your turn.
Oh, wow.
Did it landing within 10 feet of me trigger my reaction at all? Or will it? Could it?
Were you expecting something from the ground as you were looking at the one directly in front of you? Because, I mean, it literally, unless you can attack 10 feet into the dirt from where it came from, I'll say.
Oh, it just came on the ground? I thought it jumped.
So it, just like the first one that scared Nobleheart away, you guys could actually see where, hold on. You guys could actually see kind of the rumbling path through this water underneath it took as this area here sort of buckled and caved in and is now filling into the water as whatever it crawled through was sort of broken down as this one erupted again, sending Garshadow like cat cartwheeling through the air, landing prone, while you guys sort of dived out of the way, just making it in the nick of time. Okay, Carla, what do you got for me?
I'm gonna get off of I think that's 15 feet.
Okay, we're going to say that Troy, just as part of your turn, starts moving this way, almost following Nobleheart's direction. As Welf and Tristan and Faye sort of run after the horses. Go ahead.
20, 25, 30, right next to Garshadow, and she's gonna cast the guiding bolt at the one that knocked Garshadow out.
Okay, we'll call him Blue Dot since he's late to the party. We'll make that one Red Dot. A 20 will definitely hit. Holy shit!
Nice.
Did you cast that at second level? Oh man, that's awesome.
Alright.
And
And that's my turn.
and you guys can see this one starting to glow. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do this really quick.
So pretty. I must attack it.
He's glowing with a very pink glow as the holy pink light of Valeria sort of infused the outer carapace of this creature. So right now, both bullets, whoever attacks them next, will have advantage. Rovanian.
Can I climb up to that pinky one?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'll get within range there, and I'll attack its glowing body.
Okay.
First, I'll rage. Bonus action, rage.
Oh, I thought you were going to miss that one. Go ahead and make your first attack at advantage.
Get the white smoke going on now.
A 14 sadly misses this thing as it kind of moves a little bit, and it scrapes off the ground. Okay, here's another DM question, as this has never really happened to me. Advantage on the creature given by an ability, Ken and or Chris, if you guys can answer. If you miss the creature, does the next attack still have advantage until it hits?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over Chris's rocking chair. Can you please? Can you please say the question again?
So the ability of Guiding Bolt is the next melee or ranged attack on this creature has advantage. If you miss with that advantage attack, does it go away or does it go until you hit it?
It does go away because the attack still had advantage. So the ability of the spell was used.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Okay.
On
So
his
it,
next attack, not his next hit.
Correct.
okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so Ravanian, as you sort of go in, you slip a little bit, and it turns just in time. And instead of hitting it square with the edge of the blade, you kind of get it with the flat end. And the sword kind of rebounds as you regain coming in for your second strike. And a 22 will hit. Go ahead and roll your radiant damage on this one, since you didn't hit with the first attack.
Oh yeah, that's true. Shoot.
So go ahead and just hit Raging Sorrow 1, and then we'll take that damage. Okay, 14.
Yeah, it's 10 slashing. Yeah, she worked out pretty good.
You can almost hear this very large guttural mewling coming from this thing as soon as this kind of burst out. It wasn't expecting. You guys aren't its normal prey. So when it feels the vibrations in the ground and erupts, like it's time to feed, all of a sudden it's being attacked by what seems to be a bunch of angry hornets, like doing a lot of damage to this thing. So it is looking around, sort of its base and instinct starting to kick in.
Okay, I'm done. I'll stay here to stand my ground.
Thalion.
So Red Dot had advantage also?
Yes, Red Dot, you rolled out just in time as Moonlight swept in and then sort of started clawing and biting at the eyes before flying away. You can see the soft bit of its underbelly and its neck exposed now as it sort of snaps up.
Stab for that weakened area.
24, definitely.
And then with a bonus action, strike in that same spot.
Go ahead and untoggle advantage with rolling.
Did you want me to click it again, or?
Yes. Go ahead and roll again. 23 hits. For additional 9 bludge. Slicing and piercing in through the soft part of its neck, it sort of cranes its head down, kind of slamming it onto the ground. Now it's starting to waddle and walk like a very strange-looking crocodile almost. As like the segmented pieces of its armored skin get kind of like sucked in tighter around it. It's definitely ready to attack if it can survive that long. Is that the end of your turn, Thalion?
Yes.
Elise.
Alright. I am going to... Can I fly off of Ophelia? Up into the air?
You absolutely can.
Alright, I'm gonna go 30 feet up. So I'm sorry I don't forget.
You use the gifts the devil gave you, girl. Come on.
Right? Flying! Alright, so I'm gonna be flying up 30 feet above Ophelia.
Okay, so 30 feet up in the air.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm going to strike, what color is that one? Red? With,
Okay, the one that Thalion's currently attacking.
Yep. Yep, red with a Dissonant Whisper if it hits. The Yep.
Okay, that is
Sorry.
a wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
Somehow these things have a 10 wisdom, so I don't know how they managed to pull that out, but let's see. Oh, definitely fails, so it's going to take 13 points of psychic damage. And the assault from both Rudy, Thalion and then you sort of back to back to back. He is going to dive underground. And he's going to burrow his movement away. Okay, leaving that large crater there in its wake. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep. Yep. And she's gonna be like, "Oh, dang it, it ran away."
Okay. And then what we'll do on your name. We'll put plus 30 feet, that way I know how high you are. Okay. Leomorn.
Okay. If I was able to burn a spell from movement, could I do a cantrip after?
Say that again? You broke up a little bit for me.
If I burn a spell just from movement, can I also do a cantrip spell back after?
Yes, if you have that sorcery point ability, you can do that. Because it quickens spell, right? If you quickens... No. What is it? What's the... Doug? What is it that allows you to cast a cantrip with a sword?
It was quicken spell.
It's quicken
Unless
spell?
the spell is a bonus action, or unless the cantrip is a bonus action or the spell, then you can do bonus action spell and then the cantrip. You just can't do two spells.
Okay, so... What exactly are you trying to do, Leia?
I had a plan, but I guess it's not going to work because I don't have that one.
If you have a bonus action spell, you can definitely cast a cantrip after it. But I don't know, like, are you going to Dimension Door? Is that?
No, I don't have anything like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm gonna have to remember that next time.
Do you have Quicken Spell as one of your sorcery point magic font stuff?
No, but I'm probably gonna consider it now.
Okay. Okay. What would you like?
Let's see. I'm gonna try to hop off of Quasimodo. And, 15. I think I'm gonna try a Ray of Frost blue bugger.
Okay. Go ahead and cast Ray of Frost. .21 definitely hits. You're able to sort of hit the underside of the plate here at the joint between its shoulder and neck. Seven points of cold, and his speed is reduced?
Yes, I believe.
Okay. Speed reduced by 10. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now.
Okay.
Then we're gonna try Lucky Dagger on blue.
A 16 just misses. As you throw it, the Ray of Frost hits and it causes its head to kind of tilt as the blade bounces off the hardened, tougher outer shell on top and kind of... And I'll say lands in the ground.
I'll turn to Valir and be like, Leomorn spoiled my shot.
lands in the ground there, kind of next to the water, threatening to kind of go in.
I will remain there.
Okay, Zirak, it is your turn.
Excellent. Okay, fixing it with my steely gaze, I wave my hands and say a few magic words, and my eyes glow with an unearthly light as I cast a spell, forcing it to stay.
Aha. Okay, right on. So let's find the appropriate.
So at the start of its next turn, it has to make the charisma save or it cannot move. And I will maintain concentration on that spell as I ride my horse to a safe distance. Ophelia, Elise, you're 30 feet in the air, right? You flew up.
Yes.
She is flying 30 feet above.
Yep.
Okay, that's 60 feet of movement as I gallop up the hill a bit, still keeping my eyes on the creature.
So you guys
just
watch.
to double check, Mark, you say that this spell has a range of 30 feet, but that's at the point of casting, right?
That's the point of casting.
Okay, so as long as I can still
so-
see it and it can see me, then
So what happens is, in quick succession, Elise flies up. Zirak, you make the hand movement, and this large spectral, sort of cobra-like snake dances up in front, and the hood flares out, and then you watch as the bullet concentrates on it, as the snake begins to move from side to side in its vision. And the bullet is kind of following the movements of the snake, almost drawn there, unable to move.
yes, I like it, Mark. Thank you. It's the first time I've used your new spell there, so I like it. Good play. I'll end my turn there.
How far? Okay, Zirak's further than the other guys, so he's not going after Zirak. The rumbling again. I need Rovanian and Thalion to give me either a strength or a dexterity saving. Boom! And this one, the one that Elise sent into the ground, sort of stopped and then just rockets back up to the top as the ground explodes again. This time Rovanian is able to slide off and sort of roll away. Rovanian, you can choose any area within 5 feet of your current position to roll out of the way. Thalion, you get hurled 15 feet up into the air. Give me a dexterity, or give me an acrobatics check.
Can I
Wait,
pick
no.
between dexterity?
No, there's no acrobatics check. You just land prone. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You land 15 feet. 1, 2, 3. 2 here, crashing into the stream. And I'm going to roll the damage. Whoops, not D7. Okay. Thalion, you take 16 points of slashing, 16 points of bludgeoning, 19 points of slashing. Rovanian, you take 8 points of slashing halved to 3. No, half to 4, because I can't do math. And then 9 points of slashing, halved to 4 again. So you take a total of 8 damage because of your rage. And that is red dot's turn as it sort of looks, and then it sees the snake for a minute, but then it locks eyes onto Rovanian. It is Garshadow's turn. Go ahead and give me a death save for Garshadow. Okay, so that's one failure for Garshadow. Top of round 2. Rudy, it is your turn.
I feel bad because poor Kitty didn't land on his feet. So I'm going to use a bonus action to healing word Garshadow.
Okay.
So, sorry for stealing your thunder, Valeria.
Okay. 5 points of healing to Garshadow, who is now sort of rousing, still prone on the ground, but kind of getting up slowly and groggily. There were some audible cracks as you heard some of the bones healing from the healing spell, Valeria, as they're sort of being knitted back together.
Yeah.
I leave him in your hands. And then I'm going to attack Red.
Okay. You charge in again, whirling the lightning sword, coming down with a strike. A 14 rebounds off the hard carapace. As you sort of try to attack the backside of it, trying to slash at the leg, or just looking at Rovanian. But currently, at the moment, it's not able to not able to pierce the outer.
All right.
Moonlight.
The one that's being held by the snake spell, and try to distract it, but also laugh at it in owl language.
Comes in again, quick flyby. The talons on the legs seeking the eyes, causing it to sort of duck a little bit, exposing a little bit of the side again. Next attack on that one has advantage. It is that turn. Serpent's Gaze only keeps it from moving. The target.
Yeah, at the beginning of its turn, it makes a charisma save.
Okay,
If it succeeds, it can move.
It's not very charismatic.
That's what I was hoping.
13.
13 fails Zirak's saving DC.
He rolled a natural 16 somehow with a -3 mod. But unable to move, he's going to bite out at Rovanian. For 23.
Oh yeah, that is.
36, half to 12. As its large maw snaps at you super fast. It's kind of incredible how fast this large creature is as it comes in and clamps down. As you sort of flex your muscles out, sort of forcing the jaws apart with your Herculean strength, getting out of the way. So 12 points of piercing.
Isn't that 18 points of piercing?
It is
I'm
18
correcting you.
points. I can't do math.
I took 18.
There you go, 18 points. That's the end of the Boulette's turn.
I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt again at the blue one, since it has advantage, I guess.
Okay. Guiding Bolt. You're gonna keep the try to keep the advantage train going on the blue. You didn't even.
Oh my god!
Toggle advantage if you crit.
Double.
Well, you're still gonna have advantage with her attack too, right?
Aww.
Still a lot of damage.
So
Yeah,
so it's
true.
4d6. So that's 24 plus. So 24 plus 9, and then what level did you cast this as?
Second.
Okay, so it's
Does it add 2d6
Five.
to raise it up?
It's 5d6, so it's 30 plus 30 30 plus 10. Am I doing that right? For 4?
Yeah, that's what it is. 30 plus 10.
Okay. So
God.
that's 40 points of damage. That's absolutely just you. Your guiding bolt shoots out and it literally punches a hole through the armored outside of this creature as blood and guts now begin to stream out from the side. As it's now sort of trying to move away, but it can't get away from the snake, as it can't move its eyes away from it, and it's sort of stamping on the ground sporadically now. It's that scene in Starship Troopers where he's standing on top of the large bug and he's shot down at it, and there's just that gaping hole with muck. That's exactly what it looks like.
And I get advantage on it, right? Because it got hit by guiding bolt.
Yeah.
And it is glowing with advantage.
Okay, I'm gonna try again.
Take
So
that!
just bit me. My rage fire is building.
Okay. Coming in, trying to finish the beast. 23 definitely hits. And that is enough to put this creature down as you shove your sword into the now open hole and just like a large old school paper cutter, just run your blade along the side up through the mouth, almost tearing this thing in half as it sort of mules and then falls to the ground dead.
Okay, then I'll take my second attack against Red Dot since I'm still close by.
Oh, you guys are killing me here, literally. 28. Good God, you guys are.
It's good to see once in a while.
And you come in and seeing the area that Rudy cracked open, it immediately catches your eye, and you bring it down and cut off almost the entire upper shell on its head, fully exposing its back. Just a clean cut through, just brute strength, powering your blade through that stone-like outer carapace of this creature.
Okay, I'm happy with what I've done. I will stay here.
Valiant.
Thalion is going to hop to his feet with a growl of anger, and seeing that exposed space after Rovania sliced through, I'm going to step up and kind of extend the glaive to try and finish him or stab right into that same spot.
Okay. You are sort of downhill at the moment as he's kind of up on this rise. Okay, if you're going to move there, I need a dexterity saving throw as you're right on the edge of that crater. Okay, you almost slip and you manage to dig your heel in and then crawl more to the outside. You're now standing on the lip of the crater, getting ready to 18 just hits.
And if it's still standing, I'm going to
It is still standing, but barely,
I'm going to spin around and
as your glaive sort of cleaved into the meat of the neck. It had 8 hit points left. As you come down in guillotine-like fashion, nailing it in the back, sort of feeling it connect with the spine, you twist the edge of your glaive in, sort of popping it free. You feel it start to go numb as you spin the glaive around, and then you jab the other end directly in its eye socket as it starts to sort of like vibrate and shake, and kind of tremors are sort of racking its body as it gives way and just lands on the ground dead.
once I notice it's still, I kind of use the glaive to steady myself and spit some blood out of my mouth since I got tossed pretty hard.
You're hurting, man. You're soaking wet. The breeze did feel nice, but you feel frigid cold at the moment.
You think there's enough of the shell we can try harvesting?
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I just happen to have something directly for this bullet.
Well, that was fun, you guys. That's good exercise.
You know, all that hiking was getting boring without any kind of entertainment.
Did you see my new magics?
Garshadow's limping, his like front left paw's limp. You see like Thalion coughing up a little bit of blood. At the moment, some gashes open on his face from landing in the rocks in the creek bed, just being flung up into the air. They're not looking too good.
Yeah, I appreciate you holding in place for you because we can finish him off.
As the snake dissipates and the particles of the magic float with the wind.
I felt, Rovanian, that my magic was rather mesmerizing.
Boom, boom.
After Valeria kind of does the prayer of healing, before I kind of go to bandage anything.
Does that heal everybody? Is prayer healing heal everybody? I forget.
Prayer of healing, I think, is up to 6 people within 30 feet.
Yeah.
I can help you try to harvest something if you'd like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'll help you roll.
Okay, so you're going to try to harvest the hide with the aid of Rovanian?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a survival check with it.
Damn!
Okay. So while the bullet relies on its powerful jaws and claws to kind of tunnel through the solid rock, the thick layer of this rock dissolving slime, now the closer you get to it as you study it, that sort of coats skin. You imagine now this is what helps it kind of glide through with such ease compared to other creatures, just how fast this thing was erupting with the force it did. You harvested it quickly enough. The hide retains all of its properties. And you can either craft this, if stored correctly, into protective equipment, or the slime can be used in potions. But remember, this is organic material. Just a heads up. We managed to get about 50 pounds of this hide off the creature that you cleave through.
Can we try to cure it or anything like that, or?
Wait, what are you asking?
Yeah, you can cure a hide and like spend some time.
I can salt it. I have a bunch of salts that I use for drying fish out. If we want to take it with us till we set up camp for the night, I'll salt it and hang it like I do to the fish, and we'll see if it helps. Keep it.
Also, I would like to have a little sample of that muck that seems to be coming off of it.
Can we like split the difference and give them some of the muck and take some of the hide, or?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a Leomorn, give me a alchemist kit check using your dexterity. And you guys have 50 pounds of this boulette hide. That if you manage to get it crafted into armor, will give you resistance to piercing damage.
Perfect.
14.
Stocking up on
14, not bad, Leomorn. You managed to get 2 vials of the sort of oozy dissolving liquid. You even sort of test it out as you sort of pour it out onto rocks, and you watch as you pour it out. The rocks almost turn into cotton candy when it hits it, and it just dissolves, eating away quickly.
Should we say we took a short rest through all this?
No, because you guys were actively hacking and pulling off large plates, so this was definitely not a rest for you two.
I meant for the rest of the group, sorry.
The rest of the group can have a rest, but Leomorn, Thalion, and Rudy, who are sort of harvesting stuff, don't get a rest unless you guys rest after.
Did somebody go after Thalion's horse?
After a while, you do see that Tristan and Welf are leading the horses back with the help of Faye.
If the rest of you don't mind, I would like to try and bandage some of these wounds after doing all this, getting the blade armor. Was there any objections to that?
I would like to get out of this area because we don't know if these were the only two in this area.
Yeah, maybe we should get out in case another bullet pops up. And then
Yeah, I was just
someplace else.
about to say, we don't know how many other ones there are. Yeah,
I just-
getting out of here would be ideal.
Okay,
So,
so
I
you
will
guys
drink a potion real
mount
quick
back.
before mounting.
Okay, go ahead and drink your potion. You guys go ahead and mount up. Sort of stroke and try to calm the horses. The closer they get towards the large creatures and just the smell of the death, they do start to panic a little bit again. But it's easy enough to sort of walk them around slowly, and as you guys get to a flatter area, you mount up and you begin to ride further east, up through following the channels of the water as they lead you further up. It's definitely a slower climb the higher up you go. Let me move that down. The small incline starts getting steeper and steeper as there's some parts of this trail now as you start to wend up further, almost starting to switch back in on itself as you guys start to make your way up, to the point to where you actually have to kind of hop off the horse and kind of lead them by tether, making your way up through this area until again it flattens out into another large valley. And off in the distance, a good distance away, you can see the glittering dark water of Upper Middleburg Lake off in the distance. You guys find yourself again in another sort of valley encased in mountains and cliffs, trees edging the, like sort of pockmarking the middle, but very thick along the edges as tall, fragrant grass kind of covers the entire area, and you can see where the indentations of the rivers and the creeks again begin to wend their way through as you guys begin to make your way east. Darkness does begin to fall. You guys stop, make your camp. Welf and Tristan come back with a good supply of what seem to be mountain rabbits and another smaller red deer, not as big as before, but this is definitely plenty of food, as Faye also makes her way back with an assortment of like small mountain sorrel and a bunch of roots and what looks to be stingy nettles. And as you guys sort of see to your bandages, change the ones that need to be changed, and then further heal up and kind of rest around the fire. Dinner is served. You guys begin to eat. And then you guys begin to set up the watch. What's your watch order?
I'll go first this time.
Okay. So Rovanian. Second,
Drummond can go second.
Drummond. Third watch.
I'll take third.
Okay. And then fourth watch.
Daniel was
Okay.
gonna. Daniel actually rest this time.
As you sort of lift your hand up, like, I'll take it, Valeria grabs your hand and like sets it down. He's like, no, you rest.
You sleep.
You still have some very colorful bruising, Thalion.
I'm gonna use one of the herbs.
You and
that I get for
Jolion
the
need the
scarring.
rest.
So I don't know if you guys saw on Faye's Can't Follow Her Hand. For 20 gold per person, or a total of 160 gold. During a long rest, she can prepare a meal that helps the group recover a lot quicker, and the following day you're able to regain one additional hit die that you spent during the day or during the rest. And then for an extra 10 gold per person, or 80 gold, you can add in advantage on con saves and 1d4 temporary hit points. So she has that ability. If you guys want to spend money on that, talk amongst yourselves. But that's one of her main follower abilities. Okay, so I need...
Besides, where is she gonna store all this gold? Does she got a pack for the hundreds of gold pieces she's gonna be carrying around from us?
Nope, that gold just disappears from me.
I'm gonna steal it
She's
from her.
a, she's a gold sink.
How much was it? Because I may take advantage of that tonight.
So it's 160 gold for the extra hit dice, but that's 20 gold per people, but everybody has to eat from it. So it's 160 or nothing. And then for an extra 80 gold, which is 10 gold per people, you can add in advantage on Constitution saving throws against becoming diseased or from sickness, and 1d4 hit points, and that's for 24 hours. So that's 240 gold for that perk that just gets wiped off your list if you want to spend the money for everybody.
Never ask a lady where she puts her gold.
The gold just disappears, Ken. I'm just saying this is a special thing you guys can buy, and the gold just goes away.
Yep. She puts it in her secret bag of holding, which is actually a portal back home. Fills up her chest back home.
To the Shadow Realm.
That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna teach her. I'm gonna learn how to cook from her and teach her my recipes, but I ain't paying her 20 gold for
Got a bag
extra
of
heal.
devouring.
We've got a Valeria for that, and I'm happy with Valeria's services, and she doesn't charge.
You learn how to expertly stuff and roast rabbits over an open fire.
Ooh, I like it.
Sort of the way you do it. And it's sort of different from when Thalion made it the one time where he caught the rabbits and kind of stuffed them with the fern fronds. Almost as soon as the skin and meat touch the fire, the fragrance sort of explodes, and almost to the point to where your mouth is immediately beginning to water as soon, and it's not even cooked yet. And as the other two begin to butcher the deer they caught and sort of hack it up into steaks, leaving an entire leg for Garshadow, she begins to slowly season those again with wild herbs that she's beginning to find. You smell the familiar scent of the wild sumac that the gentleman who thought everybody was a witch was putting on his eels. Mixing that with the regular fragrance of the salt and pepper and what seemed to be wild onions that she found, sort of cooking that at the bottom of the pot, and the way that's sort of caramelizing, she knows her stuff. And you guys are kind of happy you brought her along. And in a way, it's sad as well, because all this food now is bringing these sort of heart-aching memories of spending time with Layla when you first met her and she was cooking for all of you with such care. And it's kind of nice.
Am I all learn this too at some point? I'm just curious.
Learning to cook?
Yeah, I've been living in the woods for so long. New recipes would be nice.
Yeah, you watch, and then she shows you how to stuff it and then sew it with thick, coarse thread to make sure that none of the juices sort of flow out. And you can see that she's turning it upside down so the back cooks and the heat radiates up, so it's not losing all of the juice from the inner portion that's been sort of cleaned out. You can definitely take it in, though you don't know if your touch is as deft as hers at the moment, but you can definitely give it a try later on. Pretty easy to remember. It's quite simple, but the execution of it is key.
Nice.
See, I had all this stuff prepared for Chris's character, and then he goes and just gets her kills. You're killing me, Drummond. Okay. And so go ahead. I need Rovanian, perception check. Drummond, perception check. Elise, perception check. Valeria, perception check.
I'm apparently enjoying the rabbit too much.
You guys could have made a lot of money selling that wagon back at Niederhelm.
What do we do with the wagon?
Oh, the wagon. The wagon's just sitting at the bottom of the mountain, hidden by a couple bushes and trees, as the group tried to make it look abandoned. And with Thalion's help, was able to do so quite well.
That card has a lot of sentimental value.
You could have got some wartime pricing for that, Drummond. Okay, so Ravanian, as you sort of take on your first watch, as everybody begins to settle in, you take one of the half-eaten hares, and you're just sort of munching on it, listening to the sounds of the stream and the wind blowing through the tall grass, and just this sort of whistling melody that kind of caresses your mind, and it's soothing. And then you shake awake. You dozed off. You look around, the fire's still going. The half-eaten hare is now, again, even more half-eaten, but it's fallen to the ground. And you sort of look, and you open your eyes, and you try to wipe away the tiredness really quick as you look about. And that's when you hear it. And then the wind takes it. And then Drummond begins to sort of ruffle awake and kind of sit up. Almost like clockwork now, he's used to watches. And his inner clock woke him up as you're sort of standing up looking about outside. Drummond, you wake up to a very tense-looking Rovanian kind of standing at the edge of the campfire circle, staring out into the tall grass and darkness.
Do you see something? Is there something out there?
I just heard crying again, like that you guys talked about before.
Oh, man. That's so annoying. Hasn't
You
heard
see Drummond, as soon as you say that's so annoying. Then the breeze takes it again. And then you don't hear it.
We'll go ahead and get some sleep, Ravenny, and I'll wake you if there's anything. If anything.
Yeah, make sure with me if she gets closer or disappears in the middle of our camp.
Drummond, again, you sit down, stoke the fire, add some more wood, get the light burning bright again. The warmth in front of you feels good. The sort of play of chill night air and the wafts and waves of the campfire heat kind of intermixing. It's intoxicating. It feels really good. And then every now and then, every 5 minutes, the cry. 25 minutes later, the moaning cry again. 30 minutes, the cry. And at the end of your watch, as you sort of stand up to begin to get Elise. The crying begins again.
This would have been such a nice night, except for the neighbors.
Huh. Almost sounds like the voices in my head.
Well, then you should be.
But I guess these ones are more annoying because at least the ones in my head do not speak out loud.
Okay, I'm just gonna go over here.
Yep. You heard nothing, Jerome. You just go to sleep. Ta-ta, night-night. She kind of curls up at the edge, just kind of looking out.
And you can hear it clear as day as you sort of look out, Elise. Looking out into the darkness, and it's kind of creeping you out a bit. And then the creeping out turns into, this will make a good story. And you sort of jot notes as you kind of listen to the mournful crying as it breaks in and out with the sounds of the wind. 2 hours pass. And then you go and you shake Valeria awake. Valeria, you wake up. Told the same thing. The voices again, crying in the wind. As Elise huddles inside the tent, tries to snatch the last 2 hours of sleep she can before the sun rises, and you make your way to the fire, stoke it even more. But you don't hear anything. Just the blowing of the wind, the bubbling of the water. And then it's really loud. Ridiculously loud. Louder than it's ever been. And you sort of stand up, look around, and it kind of echoes around in your general direction. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Just her?
Just her.
Inspiration. To get advantage.
Okay. Didn't even need it. You feel your hearing sort of goes away. The blowing of the wind gets louder. You feel your knees get weak and they kind of buckle, but then you brace yourself against one of the large rocks that you guys were using as a chair on the edge of the campfire circle. As your mind goes blank for but a moment. Give me one quick. The sound of wind.
Guess she calls out softly.
Oh, not yet. The sound of wind and the vacuum-like pressure begins to press in on your mind as once again you're surrounded by calm, thick fog. You're standing in this circle, surrounded by this wall of fog as it sort of dances in waves around you. The sounds of your breathing and the clacking of your armored boots as you move through this place is muted. The fog slowly begins to creep towards you. Tendrils like wispy tentacles begin to crawl and slither and float. And it begins to encompass your body, moving around you and then the smell hits you. A smell that just permeates everything around you. The scent of wildflowers, cedar trees, the fresh brine of a lake shore, like a tidal wave shooting out away from you and all like in a 360 circle around you. The fog moves out as if pushed away by an unnatural force, uncovering a beautiful landscape, the country of your birth, the home of your heart. You're standing in Estok. It's dusk. The first faint twinkling of the stars can be seen in the purple and pink blue sky. The moon is full, and it shines like a beacon illuminating everything before you. The warmth of the lady fills your body, and there is a serenity that permeates and fills your mind. The sound of a horse's slow-moving hooves stirs your mind from its wondrous melancholy. You see a knight emerging from the trees, leading his barded horse through the bushes, branches cracking and breaking as he wends his way through. His bird-ornamented armor gleams beautifully in the silver glow that radiates off the surface of the water. He lets the horse's tether go as both he and his mount head in towards the lake. He lifts his visor, though his face is covered in shadow, as he reaches his hands down into the water, cups it, and he begins to drink as his horse does the same. The water ripples away at his approach. But then the ripples begin to come back towards him. He looks up, he takes a step back, and he places a hand on the pommel of his sword before releasing it. You follow his gaze and look up, and you see a beautiful woman emerge from the water, growing in size as she steps out, now towering over him, her naked body covered only by the sheerest of thin silk. She languidly lays down in the water, resting her elbows in the sand. The knight takes a knee, offers the woman his sword, and the lady smiles brightly, and her eyes glimmer with tears. You shake awake as you're holding onto the stone and you look around. The purple of the morning sky is now being broken into a wondrous vision of pinks, oranges, and finally yellows as the blue of the sky begins to overtake the darkness of the night as the stars disappear as the sun rises. You do not hear the crying. That was a trip.
Oh, great. At least I got to see what the lady looks like.
It's the Lady of the Lake.
If you look in your visions folder in your player handout, you'll see mysterious vision number 5, and that's kind of the silhouetted picture that you get. Two people fell asleep during watch, Droman. I think you're in the clear. You guys all begin to wake up?
It's fine.
What do you do, Valeria?
I guess I tell everybody about my, well, I don't know if it was a vision or a dream, but I'm assuming it's a vision of the past. I think I might have dozed off towards the end. Or maybe it's vision. I can't tell the difference between the two sometimes.
What did you see?
I saw a knight back home. He had just gotten off his horse and was getting a drink from a lake. And as he was drinking, I think the lady appeared to him and she blessed him the sword. But she was crying and she was happy to see him and her.
Just to be sure, Mark, that I'm not reading too much into things with story Stallion knows with the whole quest thing. Would this sound familiar?
There are occasions in Grail stories that you've read and heard about. I mean, there's not many books about human Grail stories, kind of where you grew up. Most wood elves, like true wood elves, despise humans for their destruction of the wilderness and the way they live. Which is why kind of you were so despised as a half-breed amongst them. Nobody really gave you a chance except those that kind of knew you. But from what books you managed to get and read, probably stolen from the bodies of the dead, and kind of brought into the library, there are precedents and cases where the lady has shown herself to questing knights, either during or at the end of their journey.
So I would then proceed with asking, Valeria, do you know much about the questing knights? This sounds similar to things I've read about.
Well, I was taught this while I was in the convent, so I guess I know a bit about it. I guess. What would you like to know?
Well, if these are visions for you, then maybe she is trying to tell you something. I believe my father was also searching for this grail that they speak of.
What Grail? What is
There are
this
some
Grail?
things that
Is it valuable?
You hear Drummond pop up. What Grail? What are you talking about?
it's something that knights go on a quest for by the one I worship. She knights who she thinks are worthy in order to find it.
And she would tell you that the knights that do find and drink from the Grail become mighty, mighty soldiers, almost blessed with supernatural powers and abilities, superhuman strength, speed, sometimes maybe like a little bit of omnipotence when it comes to sensing those around them. The current king of Estok is actually a Grail Knight. So it is definitely something not common, as it's almost demigod status, and not many human civilizations have something like this, that a god bestows power into people they think is worthy, especially that much.
My reading was very limited in the Wood Elf Village, but I don't think I ever read of any women knights searching for this grail. But maybe she's trying to point you in the direction of it.
I don't know if it's something like that. Like I said, I just have visions of it's been a Grail Knight. I didn't get a good look at his face, but
Or maybe you are supposed to help guide those that are chosen to find it.
my quest was, well, I don't exactly have a quest, but my intent when I left home was to help those in need. I don't know much about the Grail War, but it's not something that I am focused on.
I am just remembering something now. Wasn't the man with the eye patch Didn't he think you looked familiar, like you were supposed to aid him?
Yeah, that is true, actually. I don't know where he is, though. He didn't seem to be part from S-Doc.
Is that the guy that the kid was looking for?
It is.
Well, a better question would be, in your vision, did you recognize the armor that the man was wearing?
From my homeland.
There was something very distinctive about it. As Lamborn kind of pops this into your mind,
Okay.
Valeria. You've actually seen that armor before.
Oh. Did I see it?
It was on a knight who held out his hand to you while you were on the ground and asked you, "Can you stand?"
Oh. It was from my other vision. He was also there. It's the same man. I think I'm following his journey through these visions, or at least in part. Eagle armor. Type of bird armor. I forgot if it was an eagle or a falcon or something.
So you're observing a journey of someone either from the future or past?
I believe so.
Did you recognize the location of your vision?
Cut off a little bit.
You recognize in your vision where you were.
Yes, I knew in my last vision that I was home. What lake that was, but I do know it was somewhere at my home.
Yeah, the exact location unknown, but you could feel it, like in the very depths of your soul. You knew exactly, like you knew that you were exactly in S-Doc.
Yeah.
Just everything about it. It's that feeling of deja vu that washes kind of over you.
Yeah.
When a familiar smell or feeling kind of encompasses over you. 100%.
All those things are settled here. If you are homesick, wouldn't hurt to visit and help clear things up for you. Hopefully, we can settle everything I have here pretty quickly. Besides, I believe there may be more things in your land that might help fix my ailment. And you know, I can't remember if I actually told Valeria about the soul situation.
You told me. I
Don't know that at all.
Nobody knows anything.
You told me.
Yes, you did bring it up kind of to Rovanian. You had a feeling something was off, Thalion. And it was sort of confirmed when you were visited by the Shade in your sleep.
So I would openly explain this to everyone so they understand my actions now. So there was a cost to when I came back. And apparently the cost was greater than what I interpreted.
And thinking back on it, looking at her face and how sad, like how terribly sad she looked when she was telling you this. At the moment, being able to be brought back kind of overpowered your other senses at the moment. And you sort of snatched at it before you could fully comprehend the emotions that you were reading from her. But it does sort of fall into place and make sense now.
So the magic that pulled me back shattered my soul. I'm still aware of things, but I feel numb to a lot. I did speak to... Crap, why am I pulling a blank? Eucerius.
Serious?
And apparently, he said I was beyond his help. That it broke a fundamental law between gods or higher beings. I'm not sure if you can reach out to the lady, if there's anything she can do, or I know there is a lot of things in your land. Something that might be able to bring my soul back.
She does not exactly involve herself much with the people that are outside of her servings, but I can certainly try.
At least I was able to come back and aid you all, since we all know a lot of the things that are lurking in the shadows to come.
You guys talk over a very good breakfast porridge of leftover meat, roots, and wild rice. Those sort of scavenged together from some of the tall grass growings over some of the larger pond areas in this valley. You guys begin to pack up your things. After Thalion's, what's the word I'm looking for? Confession. Start the rest of the journey east on a more dour note. You guys begin to move through the valley again, wending your way. The darkness of the lake growing in size, and now as the perspective comes in, you notice that the lake is actually down in elevation compared to where you guys are currently at, though still quite a distance away. You guys stop one night. Those of you on watch again hear the cries, the moaning sadness as you continue your journey. Nighttime brings you almost to the top of a plateau where it begins to sort of go down and slope in these sort of trails that have been cut into the cliffside, kind of going down, definitely man-made. But there's something that immediately grabs your scent as you start making your way through this meadowed plateau. It is the smell of rot and decay. It doesn't take much for you guys to find the source of it as you guys sort of stop, unhorse, and some of you go and check it out. And you see that there are numerous bodies, orc bodies, about 6 or 7 of them. Some of them cloven in two, clean cuts. And it looks like where the slices were made, you can see what seems to be old, charred marks of cauterization as something red hot cut through them, almost as if they were cut in half by fire.
everyone be on the lookout.
If you're running people
Body
with fire.
parts?
Any
Yes,
body parts missing, or it seems like it just cut in half and left?
I mean, you can see where it looks like some crows or some vultures or some other animals have kind of came up and started eating at the bodies.
I mean, like whole arms missing, or things like that, like some harvested pieces for, like we saw before.
No. It looks like there was some sort of fight that took place in a very centered area. Those of you who want, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Yeah, look for tracks or something, I was thinking.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. Thalion, Rovanian. What you guys can pick up right away is it looks like these orcs tried to ambush somebody. Evident by the skid trails coming off of the side of what seems to be a stony hillock, just sort of above them. And just the way the debris is, the way it fell and scattered out, and the footmarks around it, and some scrape marks on the side that are definitely not nature-made. It looks like they came down off of this stony hillock along the mountain face. And you can immediately make out a couple footsteps that are different from the large lumbering footsteps of these orcs. Very human-sized footsteps. But only one set, numerous times as if it was dancing through this area, carving through these creatures with ease. Valeria, you follow the footsteps now here evident through this battle as it makes its way down towards the trail and continues, leaving the carnage in its wake.
They went this way.
I wonder if it was one of the Shadow Walkers. And I kind of want to keep an eye out now since we're reaching that point for Ellie's marks.
Okay. You guys begin to set up camp. I assume you guys either toss the bodies over the cliff or burn them. What do you?
Probably burn them.
Probably burn so nothing rises.
Make sure the guy.
Shit,
Good
get
enough.
any
idea.
coin pouches.
Okay. You sort of move them off to the side, away from everything. Find a good area that looks like where some people have camped before. There's an old fire pit that's been sort of laid out in some large sitting stones and a log. You guys sort of set up your tents, get them all ready to go. Faye and Tristan take some of the preserved meats that they've taken from some of the animals that you have not cooked yet, sort of take them out, and then begin to start preparing dinner. As night sort of starts to settle in, what would you guys like to do?
I feel like we haven't exactly had a chance to really talk one-on-one with anybody. All we've been really doing is traveling, stopping, maybe fighting a couple things, and I don't know, I guess, how's everybody's mental state right now? Group therapy time.
I mean, you guys are a long, long way from civilization.
I'm totally cool with that.
The only thing that tells you that there might have once been a civilization here is some old ruins you come across that are nothing but sort of broken down, beaten stone. Not much left but the roots of it that kind of blend into the rest, almost as if nature is kind of overtaking it.
Having been raised in the forest with dryads, I'm actually quite comfortable here in the wilderness. However, that said, it has been a while since we've been around other people other than ourselves. if you're asking about how my mental state is being here in the Barrowlands itself, it's better than it was a week ago. I am certainly enjoying the fact that it's not raining at the moment.
Exactly. Though, I mean, the talking wind is a bit odd, but I suppose that's better than dealing with spectrums and ghosts and things trying to kill us at night.
I think if we wait a little longer and keep going east, we'll probably run into whatever is crying in the wind.
Yeah, that would not surprise me.
I do apologize again to you all. If it wasn't for the disturbing letters of what happened here, I would not have wished dragging you to this land.
I was told to be here, so I'm here.
As for my mental state, well, it is kind of hard to explain considering the situation of what happened to me. I'm a little numb to everything, so I guess I am fine for the time being.
The line. Anybody else?
I'd have to admit, I do miss my father. I mean, I wish I could send a message to him to let him know that I'm still alive and well.
If you can describe to me, I can try seeing if I can reach him. I don't know if it would work, but I could certainly try.
Wait, you can do that?
I've learned to accept that there are a couple of things Valeria can do that we are unaware of. Very interesting, skilled feats.
Yes, nobody seems to ask. I'm kind of just... I feel like I get overlooked a lot, as that's what I want to say.
Then how about this? Why don't we all explain skills that we're all good at that might benefit each other, especially in a fight? Valeria,
Maybe
why don't you start?
I can do cleric things. I can heal. I can...
I think one would be hard-pressed to say something that Valeria is not good at, Thalion. She pretty much handles all the business of what makes this party successful.
Okay, that felt nice. Thank you. I don't hear that enough.
But if you're asking who the important member of the party is, it's me.
Alright, I take that.
I had to throw it in there, Zarak to the core.
Well, I'm pretty sure we figured that out. I mean, oh gee, we'd be nowhere with the wizards, right? That's becoming a very efficient cook now.
With Layla still, if it wasn't for me, yeah.
That's becoming quite an efficient cook without having to use his secret sauce, as she winks at him.
I wink back. That was a good one. Nicely played.
And you know, I always
I heard from
appreciate
Rudy
your,
yet.
you know, I always appreciate your abilities, Miss Valeria. You know, I always do. You did save my hide more than once.
Liam Warren, by the way, here is best at damaging his allies.
And apparently flattery.
That seems to be his special trait. Thalion is really
Monks
good
kissing ass.
at dying, as well as Garshadow.
Zelda, I swear to the seven hells, I will slam you to the ground the next time you bring that up.
Oh gee, did you forget the other two parts of hell too? There's 9 levels, not 7, boy.
Hey,
I'm gonna
are you sure you could do that though, Xeomorn? I don't think you really have the strength for that.
I
don't know.
I'm willing to try.
Zerak,
She's right, Leomorn. I
First
do
you have
push
to
ups
get rid of
every
that
morning.
backpack.
And Zarak will flex his right arm a little bit, and you'll see that nothing changes.
Told you should have been doing your push-ups just like Zarak Lemon.
I do believe we share the dying situation together, Zerak.
This is true. I do remember that that fight was brutal for all of us. It was possible that we all could have died there.
By the way, since I haven't noticed anything of it recently, how is your book?
It's been quiet lately, but then again, I haven't been prodding it. Zephyrian seems to be content for the time being.
But you can still speak to her.
I'll try tonight. I haven't in a while, but thanks for the reminder.
If you do, can you ask her if she knows of anything for this ailment?
What ailment? What? Are you sick?
Have you not been listening? What brought me back destroyed my soul. Maybe she knows something that might be able to help.
I've been listening, but you seem to have been managing without a soul, I guess. If you're soulless, you seem to have quite a care for your companions. More so than one without a soul would have.
I'm merely reacting off of memory, but she did leave a warning. If I am to fall again, there is no waking me back up.
I will inquire and see if Zephyrian knows of a way that your soul can be given more backbone, as it were.
Just then, through the darkness.
What in the hell's that?
Oh, that's our
Close friend.
the talking wind thing that we were just talking about that might bite us later, or in this case, you.
It's louder than normal. Zirak Moonlight is kind of going crazy.
Is it just me, or does that thing sound like it also got louder and deeper?
Oh, this morning.
This is the first time I've heard it, right, Mark?
This is the first. No. Yes, this is the first time you've heard it, since you weren't listening or watching through Moonlight.
Yeah, I mean, Moonlight's kind of given me an owl's interpretation of it. But yeah, I haven't heard it directly.
You've noticed that the further east that you guys travel, that Moonlight is getting almost manically nervous, and you, an intellectual, would look at this sort of spirit animal and sort of try to compare it to Garshadow, who doesn't seem kind of shaken at all, but Moonlight is quite nervous.
So, you mean to tell me you've not been hearing this every night?
Snap. Crack.
That sounds like something alive, doesn't it?
It's breaking
Speaking
two
again.
branches.
If by that you mean those snap, crackling, pop noises that are getting awfully closer, then maybe.
Sounds through the tall grass and bushes.
I think the rest of dinner will have to wait. We should all be on our guard. I feel like something's approaching.
Likewise, I agree. I don't like that sound I'm hearing. Oh God.
I will also stand and begin to cast mage armor on myself.
As will I.
I'm going to stand and draw my sword, and I'm going to ignite it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand.
Grabbing
my
my
rapier
blade and
ready.
standing, I'm trying to peer through the darkness to see if I notice anything come.
For
Same.
the first time, you guys watch as Rudy pulls out the lightning sword that you guys found back at Hellborg Keep, and she sort of grips it tightly as arcs of lightning begin to dance up and down the blade, giving off this dim, resonant light around her.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Does anybody see anything?
I see nothing, but I'm staying somewhat close to Valeria because she's cast light. If we get another round of actions, I'll cast light as well. But I'll cast light as I move back away from camp.
Okay.
Here. From.
You guys can actually see where some of the tall grass further up in the vision kind of moves quickly.
Don't stray too far.
Can I activate my wing?
Oh, I hope it's not that thing that's attracted to fire that was attacking us last time.
It didn't move like that. It's like it's running fast through the grass.
Begin to kind of
You don't think
watch
it
the
could be a
grass and ready.
better version of it, do you?
That would be great.
So, Jeremy, it's 20 feet of dim light. The light right now from the fire pit and the campfire and all the other lights right now are sort of shining brighter. But if there is ever a pinch you were in darkness and you needed to see, at least in dim light, you can activate that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the token works.
Yep, it does cast light. It gets overshadowed by the actual light, since this is sort of like a side effect of the lightning energizing the blade.
Rudy, on my screen, it looks like you're lower than max. Is there a reason for that?
Probably because I'm not paying attention.
Is it possible you said if you have like I can spend 5 GP to eat something, can I eat like grave moss just so I can see if I can see into the ethereal? See if anything's running around.
Sure.
I'll eat just a little bit of grave moss to see if I can see anything through the ethereal.
You eat it, and your vision turns cloudy, and you begin to look out, and you see the ghost-like replication of the material plane in stark white and grays in front of you. You look through. You don't see anything. The crying again.
Is it coming from a direction or is it just all around us?
Give me a perception check with moonlight. Ken? It seems to be coming from an easterly direction. Again, somewhat carried by the wind, yet not. It seems to be emanating from this section here. Ken, as moonlight flies over the copse of trees, it goes down and it sees what seems to be a dwarven statue. Tall, though quite hidden.
You say it's emanating from where moonlight's at?
From where moonlight can
No.
see it as it's flying.
He said it was coming from the east. He's telling me what moonlight can see.
And
Here, then.
it's in this general area where the sound is radiating from. It's kind of echoing and moving through as you guys are sort of in this plateau surrounded by the mountains. But it's coming from this area.
We go in two groups, or what are we doing?
Okay, let me describe what
Let Mark finish describing what moonlight sees.
Moonlight looks to the ground next to the statue, and there seems to be a figure hunched. Crying. Its skin is sort of silvery gray in the moonlight.
So moonlight will just kind of, because he can telepathically communicate, but just like thoughts and emotions, that there is a person up by another person that's standing very, very still. So I will tell the group that it appears we are not alone in the woods. Whatever's making that noise is coming from the northeast. Have your weapons ready.
Cutting through the grass under moonlight, moving super fast. A sort of line goes from tree to tree. You couldn't see it. The grass too tall in this area. But you watched the line as the grass parted and closed as something made a beeline through.
I want to burn a spell to use my primeval awareness to see if I can detect any undead and how many are nearby.
You concentrate, you place your hands on the ground, and you feel the earth. Can't feel undead.
So as I stand up, whatever it is, it's not anything undead.
Droman, something up ahead as you move up. Cuts stupid quick.
Maybe I'll call out and say, "Why do you cry?"
Droman, as you begin to snake forward on your wings, Rovanian's voice kind of booms over, "Why do you cry?" And then the creature stands. And it is grotesque. Give me a second. As it stands up, it has this unnatural, knobby body now as it sort of comes up from its crouch. Its neck almost elongated, ending in a humanoid-like face that seems to be perpetually crying these dark tears. Its left hand is a large, jagged piece of bone, 4 feet long. In its other hand, or more likely its arm, seems to be rips and pieces of skin and muscle that have been corded, ending in another bone-like spike to which another hand is being cradled, sort of pierced by, and it stands up on 2 legs. No feet, just more bone-like protrusions as it looks around and it gets super loud. Give me a stealth check as you're sort of flying 15 feet in the air, kind of in the open. Make it with disadvantage. Because you're not really hiding behind anything. It might not see.
Just a giant bug. Just ignore me.
Why not come to the light? We can use your crying as a light out.
It doesn't see you, but it starts sort of wandering and walking, following the sound of the voice that's calling out to it.
Can I kind of point, or at least direct the party's attention that it's...
Drummond, what's your passive perception?
15.
Okay. You guys are watching as Drummond is pointing in this direction, and in slow motion horror, Valeria, Thalia, and Rovanian, as you look up that way, you watch as something fleshy, small, and nubby leap from out of the grass as Drummond is looking at you guys and pointing from behind him, and is going to attempt to clamp its large lamprey-like mouth on Drummond's leg.
Aww.
Was another one from where he was pointing?
So let's roll for some initiative.
Gotta keep that Jarrus rolls going.
Finally, Moonlight got a lower initiative than me. This is what I was waiting for.
Yep. Just keep the good times rolling.
I'm telling you, initiative is the one time you want to roll low.
It does help you know what's going on, yeah.
Yeah, you get a feel for how the battle's going before you even start, and it gives you time to kind of plan your turn and even change what you want to do a couple of times while you're waiting for your turn. I don't mind rolling low on initiative. I like it when the rogues and the fighters roll high and the rest of the party rolls low.
The reason I don't want to roll low is so I can rage, but
yeah, for a barbarian, that's why you should. You don't have. Do you have advantage on initiative yet?
I don't know if I get that.
And you get Feral Instinct at level 7.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a level, I thought it was level 5, but yeah. So you'll eventually have advantage on initiative, because barbarians, you do want to rage, so that you take less damage if the things run up on you.
Okay, I got Gar Shadow 1, Rudy 2, Elise 3, Thalian 4, Xerac 5, Lamorn 6, Drummond 7, Valeria 8, Rovanian 9, Moonlight 10, 1, 2, 3. Top of round 1. You guys watched as this familiar lamprey-like body jumped out, little nubs dangling behind it. Drummond is just too high as it snaps about 3 feet short of Drummond's foot as he pulls it up and lands back into the grass, almost invisible. And it is going to go.
These are some baby constructs again.
And it disappears. No, it's not its turn. What am I doing? This one, let's go 5, 10, 15, 20. And it's going to try to jump up, snap, miss, landing into the ground. And it's going to...
Would it provoke opportunity as it falls away?
I'll say yes. Go for it. Do you want to take it on red or blue?
Blue's the one that actually made the attack, so I'll do it on him.
Okay. 18 will hit.
No sneak attack.
You get it. The skin feels tough. And you watch him as he falls into the tall grass, disappearing from view. Dark Shadow.
I motion for Garsha to just bite at something if it jumps out of the brush and just stay close. So he will ready bite attack.
Ready?
I don't see any, so I'll just ready my action if they come near me.
Okay.
And
Release. Nope.
no?
Nope, there you are. Your turn.
Crap, I think that was 30. Hold on, it's right here. So we got 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. Alright. I see. I can still see German, right? Or did he fall? He was the one that fell down, right?
He is being currently, like, it's like he's on a fence post, and there's like a bunch of chihuahuas trying to jump out of the grass and try to bite him.
Okay, yeah. Because all I heard was him say, "Stay out of the tall grass."
But as soon as these creatures land in the grass, you guys over by the campfire can.
Okay, well she's gonna move up there and yeah, she's gonna prepare for an attack with her rapier out. That'll be that.
Italian.
Lion is going to kind of walk up to the edge just in front of Romanian to see if anything stirs, and I will ready an attack if something leaps out.
Okay. Zirac.
Alright, so after wondering if we're being attacked by fey creatures of the Unseelie Court, I am going to move over to see where Droman's at because he called out in pain when he was attacked. And then seeing Droman, I am going to prepare an action to cast Shocking Grasp through Moonlight if he becomes adjacent to an enemy.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to move. About 15 here. And Leo is hand out, creating a small frost, and going to wait. If anything goes within 60 feet of me, it's getting a full face of Ray of Frost.
Okay, so you're going to ready attack to Ray of Frost something? Droman.
I'm gonna look at the party and seeing them all ready, they're attacked, and I'm like, all right, fine. I'm gonna kind of like dip lower and be like, come on, fresh Droman meat, you want it, don't you? Come on, just jump out of the water. So I will ready my attack if anything jumps at me.
Okay. Valeria.
Valeria's gonna go right here. She's gonna grab one of the sticks that's on fire. Those two things. And she's gonna go.
Okay, so you're grabbing a stick that's on fire, which means you either do not have your mace or your shield equipped. Which one?
And I'm going to go right here. Right here. And I guess on my next turn, I'll probably try to throw it into the grass.
Oh, you're going to start a forest fire. Okay, cool.
Whoa, wait, what? I
didn't hear that.
I'm going to put that out with Ray of Frost as soon as I can.
That's all good.
You have your shield equipped, and you're currently holding a torch, kind of like a torch in your hand. Then.
You know, Mark has these cool little icons that can make flames come up. We're going to see them all over the map here in a minute.
So
it's like Breath of the Wild all over again.
Okay. So is it which one do you have equipped with your torch hand right now, Valeria?
Left hand.
Okay, so you have your mace in your right hand, and you have your torch in the left, which means no shield. Good to know.
I'll put down my.
I need a decision. Quick.
No mace.
Okay, so your mace is still stowed. So you have shield and torch. No mace. Okay, sounds good. Rovanian.
Okay, so I want to walk out. I'm going to try to draw these creatures out. So I'm going to walk out to here. Is it possible for me to basically cut all the grass down around me? If I were to use all my attack actions to just clear the grass around me?
It's going to take your action to cut the grass and move through it. As you're walking through the grass, it's tall grass, so it's going to be difficult terrain.
Okay, I just want to go up to there, and I just want to hack the grass around me, so if anything attacks, will be exposed, basically, to my party members. That's basically what I'm thinking. So I'm going to rage and do that, basically the most ragiest lawnmower ever.
Okay, sounds good. Moon. Is Moonlight staying there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the Moonlight cue. I mean, I don't see any enemies, so yeah, Moonlight is gonna stay right there, perched on that.
Oh man, this is gonna creep you guys out. All right. The crying, which was once mournful and hysterical, or mournful and sad, now turns to this sort of hysterical, manic crying. Drummond, it immediately grabs your attention, and you watch now as this pallid gray creature is looking right at you, and you watch as it whips its right arm back, and the sinuous, tendony muscles that form the rope hooked up to the bone edge, he wings it at you, and you watch this dagger-like bone flying right at you.
I just got the bug eyes.
And he has advantage on this attack. A 15. Does a 15 hit you?
15 would hit.
Okay. You are currently grappled as this pierces your body. You take 20 points of piercing. And
I'm
you
gonna
watch
Hellish
and
Rebuke him.
you feel as the barbed hooks slam into your body and it reels you in towards it. You guys are watching as Drummond gets hit,
Let's
throws
go
out
in.
fire, and then disappears from view.
I just have a WTF moment right there.
Okay, so this is a dexterity save. Normal. He fails, he will take 24, right? Did I count that right?
Yep, 24.
24 fires, it washes around him, and then you guys hear the crying turn into this pained, manic, just, and then it looks into your face. Drummond, I need a wisdom saving throw. And it is now crying directly in front of you as you're stuck in this dim light darkness, looking at its its orb black eyes crying around you as you are stuck in its, whoops, that's the wrong thing. As you're stuck in its sorrowful embrace.
It's like the monster movie when you get dragged off into the darkness. Help me!
You take 13 points of psychic damage. Right now, you are considered grappled by this thing directly in front of you. You guys are hearing Drummond scream. Like, he's screaming in pain, he's screaming for help. This right now in front of you, Drummond, is fucking terrifying. And that is the end of its turn. Rovanian Thalion, directly in front of you, you watch as the grass is moving.
How much of the grass did I get in front of me? Like 5 feet in front of me and everything?
Yeah, so you cleared a good 5 feet just as this thing jumps out at the grass as you're cutting, and it leaps out of the grass towards you. And again, you see the strange, mutated body of what seems to be a child, whose stomach has sort of distended and opened into this large lamprey mouth, and it is utterly wretched and disgusting.
Does it coming out trigger anybody's attack since they can see it now?
Yes, it would trigger anybody who had a prepared attack. Lamor,
So my trigger was
Lamor and Ray of
Moonlight
Frost.
was next to an enemy, which he's not, so I don't get my trigger.
Okay, so Leomorn, Rhea from.
Yeah, same. The enemy has to be next to me.
Are we surrounded by tall grass?
20 hits. The tall grass ends here.
And around me, I cut it down because I was trying to make space for people to see.
That's tall grass. Everything else here that's a darker shade than what's over here is considered tall grass.
Thanks for cutting around me. I am the radius one.
This is actually pretty great. So Ravanin, you're cutting, and then you have this tingling sensation of, oh my god, I need to watch out. Not from the monster in front of you, but as you smell the ozone from Leomorn's magic from behind your back.
Oh god.
You clearly remember the lightning that once hit you. As this streak of frost flies over your shadow, catches this thing right in the mouth. And in a very Terminator 2 type of way, it begins to turn to ice and frost as you backhand and shatter this creature into a million pieces, as the 13 was enough to kill it.
Much, much better.
Why did you panic that? So I'm gonna.
I'll just throw him over there for now. It is the top of round 2.
Are you sure, Lemon? You have hit him before, remember?
And me as well.
Mm-hmm. Gives Leomorn the stink eye.
We can't let Droman be up there by himself. We must go rescue him.
Agreed.
I had the worst brain fart right there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. As this one, as soon as you shatter it, leaps through the cold glass particles of the one you just destroyed and is going to try to latch onto you.
That hits.
You take 6 points of piercing damage, half to 3. And it is attached to your body. Again, this annoying fucking little baby lamprey thing is just clinging onto your quad, and you just can't.
Am I allowed to attack it when it's clinging to me, or?
You can attack it when it's onto you. Gar Shadow.
Rovanian, turn a little bit. Guard Shadow, sick it. Guard Shadow's gonna take off and try and rip that thing off of Rovanian.
Okay. A 17 will definitely hit. Zirak, you have light, correct?
I do have it. It's underneath me. Yeah, it's cast on my arcane implement, my crystal.
Okay. Okay, so 9 slashing. You watch as soon as your light cascades over it, and you sort of move around and watch as Gar Shadow's claws dig into the pounce. As soon as your light waves over the skin seems to bubble as he just rends right through it. The creature releases the leg and falls to the ground dead, twitching.
And Guard Shadow's going to kind of stalk forward the rest of his movement.
Be careful. While they seem frail, they may attack in numbers.
Do be aware, Thalion, that you are fighting in a forest area. So whatever your favorite terrain gives you, you have during this fight. So I don't know if you did.
That is good to know.
Since you always forget. I'm going to remind you. Rudy.
Rudy is going to go over to the fire. She's also going to grab a flaming torch. And she's going to prepare to kill anything that gets near her.
Okay. Our shadow moved exactly where I needed him. Bursting out from the bushes as Gar Shadow strikes forward. 16. You hear Gar Shadow roar in pain as this creature bites on to its neck around its mane and is now just sort of dangling there as the teeth are sinking deeper and deeper into Gar Shadow. Elise.
With the tall grass.
So you said tall grass is difficult terrain?
The tall grass is difficult terrain to run through.
That thing's standing right on the edge of the tall grass, right?
That thing is currently clamped onto Gar Shadow's neck.
Okay. And
Like
Gar
a
Shadow's
terrible
not.
tumor.
Okay.
A
so
child-sized
come up
tumor.
here. Rapier stew, and I'm going to attack it.
Okay, so you fly in underneath the tree, and you're going to go step.
I'm gonna fly above if I can.
Okay, so you're going to be 10 feet in the air.
Let's say 15.
Okay, you can't reach him with your rapier at 15 feet.
Or
You got to be within
Oh,
5
okay.
feet to attack it. So you got to be either right at 5 or.
yeah, I'll go with 10.
Okay, so you're 10 feet in the air, still adjacent to it.
I still. Well, actually, I'm gonna hit it with a vicious mockery. Hopefully. Or well, actually, it has to make a save, so.
Okay, it has advantage on this wisdom save.
Done.
11 still fails. That's going
Alright,
to
it
take.
takes 8 psychic
It's going to
damage.
take half of that psychic damage.
Yeah, and then it has disadvantage. This next thing.
It's a good thing he doesn't need to attack the next round. That the end of your turn.
Yep.
Valiant.
I'm just gonna rush there and try and knock this thing off of Gar Shadow.
Okay. $23 will hit. Okay. Hitting this thing with the end of the blade of your glaive feels like hitting stone. It just, and you remember just how resilient these things are. And a 10 sadly misses.
Though this will trigger Garshell's reaction as he tries to wheel around and bite this thing off of it.
I'm going to make you go. I'm going to make you go with a claw attack. Are they the same?
The damage is different.
Okay. Just roll a claw. Do the damage for the claw. Okay.
Because he can't really effectively bite it, hanging from him.
Yeah, because it's like right on his neck. But the claw could definitely reach up and try to graze at it.
No, I'm trying to picture a lion trying to bite something on his neck. It's kind of hilarious. Rawr, rawr.
Okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Zirak.
All right, I was hoping I had a different spell prepared, but I don't have it prepared. I'll have to do that tomorrow morning. So for today, I will just move. That's 10 feet of movement. Can I see this creature attacking my allies?
You absolutely can. It seems to be what almost looks like a fleshy blob the size of an infant that Elise is trying to poke at. Thalian's trying to hit. That's just currently clamped on the Garsha.
All right, so I will nonchalantly shout a word of magic and point a finger at it, and I will launch a bolt of fire at it to try to burn it off.
Oh yeah, that definitely hits. And you almost singed this thing off. Almost. It's still hanging on by a thread.
So I moved 10 feet to get there. I'm going to keep moving up to Dromond and turn around and say, I hope you have my back, Valeria. Leo, well, maybe not you. Rudy, you got me?
I got you.
I got you.
Oh, gee, thanks.
I took 10 feet of movement to move there, Mark. You said that tall grass is difficult terrain, right?
It is. It's like wading through.
Okay.
It tangles your legs up as you try to.
So that's a full 30 feet of movement to get there, and I use my action. I'm good there.
Okay. You guys are moving exactly where I want you to.
I'm
You
trying to
guys are
egg you on there, yeah.
You guys are destroying these things like no problem, so it's okay. Exploding from the bushes next to you, triggering Thalian's reaction. If he's still.
Yeah, I'll swing at it if I see it lunge for Zarek.
Okay, as you sort of just miss, you hear the breaking of branches, and you look, and you try to swing, but then you see Zirak there, and you change your aim, and it just misses. And now this thing is going to try to attack. He does not have his little companion next to him, so this will be a normal. Oh fuck me!
Oh wow, yeah, that's a hit. Even if I were to try to use shield or anything, so
that was
jumps out of the bushes and attaches to my face.
It's right on. It's like in your midsection, in between your hip and your armpit, clamped onto your stomach. It is serious pain. So it's going to be 11 plus 2.
Okay, so my arcane ward actually has 2 points remaining, so it almost breaks through my ward. You said 13 total, right?
13 total. And then both Garshadow and you are considered grappled by these creatures.
So it's holding on to me, but my ward protected me from the bite.
Leomorn, this is slowly descending into one of your worst nightmares, although you are not the one being devoured. It is everybody else at the moment. What would you like?
Oh, he's at the end.
Okay. Some panic here. Not panic.
Oh, and you guys watch as the one clamped onto Zirak directly in his light. You're watching the skin sort of bubble and melt a little bit.
Okay, and move to 5. And seeing how this poor thing has Zerak, hold still! And snap my finger to create the spark and do shocking grass on the bastard.
Ooh, I hope you don't roll a 1.
I don't. Percentage. Get it.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Go ahead and roll some damage, man. I mean, I think it's dead. That's, what is that, 16?
Something like that.
So 16 plus 7? Oh man. He, again, walking up like Dr. Manhattan, he places his gloved hand as the jewel on the glove sparks, and you watch this thing just explode, Zerak, all over your body, drenching you in blood, guts, and ribbons of torn flesh.
Now, what was the benefit of not having a back?
That's just sexy. Thanks, Leo, for
Leo,
covering me.
You two are covered in nastiness.
Remind me to prestidigitation on robes after this.
Zerak, you are no longer grappled. Drummond, it is your turn.
Am I grappled or restrained? Which one?
You are currently grappled, and you can try to escape his grapple, either using acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
I think I want to try acrobatics.
Okay. Oh yeah. You grab onto the harpoon of bone, and you actually have to wrench it out of your body, tearing even more skin and flesh on the way out, and you scream in even more pain, but you have broken free from this creature's embrace.
Cunning action, disengage. I'm just gonna fly.
You guys watch as Drummond is bleeding profusely and has torn around the corner his wings. He's sort of holding onto his chest where it seems to be gushing out a lot of blood.
Oh no.
I kind of do a crash landing in front of Rudy.
Ah, hell.
Valeria, it's your turn.
I go 5, 10, 15, 20 right
What did you
here.
see, Drummond? What did you see?
And I do as I said I was going to do before, and I throw the torch into the bushes.
So you're going to throw him into the trees? Can you ping for me where you throw it? Okay, give me a D100. Oh no. It sparks automatically.
Guess bonus action heal Drummond.
Okay, sounds good.
Valeria, no!
What happened? So the
She
book's on
did.
fire?
She lit the
And I
forest on
thought I was
fire?
the crazy one here. Come on.
There is now a giant bonfire burning right there next to you, Zerak. The
Isn't
heat,
Zerak
the heat
supposed to be
licking
the
off
fire person.
underneath these trees and bushes is just a dry deadfall. As I've described, that it hasn't been raining through here at all. Everything's pretty dry, ready to go, as it is summer, and it is starting to go.
Well, we're also in the high altitudes where, stuff just burns real fast.
So I shouldn't go.
Rovanian, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to finish up this one real quick over here. So bear with me because I know I have to do the difficult terrain. So I'm gonna go 5, 10. If I move into it, is it still 5 just to move into it? I
Yes,
understand that.
it's full terrain.
Okay.
It's double your movement. To move out, it's not.
Okay, so 15, and then 25, and then I'm gonna attack this guy.
Okay. A 12 misses. A 24 hits. Go ahead and roll your damage on Raging Sorrow 1. It is dead. It cannot withstand the might.
Okay, and I'm going to move over just one more, so I can say 35, and then I'm going to yell out, if you want to cry, come over here, I'll give you something to cry about!
Moonlight.
Moonlight is going to fly back to camp because there's a forest fire happening out there right now.
And they got,
Okay.
Perching on the top of the tent.
and they got rain.
As you cut down into the small, wretched little body, you turn around just as one of its arms shoots over your head, aimed at the thing that's flying that it can clearly see. And it is attacking Elise, who is within range.
Wish I had a way to help defend.
15, Elise.
That's a hit.
You take 17 points of piercing damage, and then you guys watch as Elise gets pulled through the air, her wings sort of flapping behind her at the speed, as this sort of darkened rope shoots out and comes back in. So Elise, that's 17 points of piercing, and I need a wisdom save. Okay. What did I do with my dice? You take 9 points of psychic damage. As this long bone harpoon has just got you right through the stomach and midsection, and this thing has you right next to it. And its mouth sort of distends as you look into its dark black orb eyes, constantly bleeding. This black sort of inky nastiness kind of crawling down its face as it sort of cries its lament. You sort of shrink back in terror. One of the first things that truly scare you. This guy is dead. Top of round 3. Fire grows 5 feet, consuming the grass next to Zirak and Rovanian. Zirak and Rovanian, give me dex saves. Rovanian, I think you have advantage on this too.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm going to roll one more.
But the 15 is enough. You guys will only take half. You guys take 4 points of fire damage each.
That destroys the rest of my arcane ward, and I take actual physical damage.
Okay.
No way to put the fire out. It's going to block off Elise in a second.
Yeah, this is kind of scary. Everything's working out. Kind
Yeah, it blocks me from helping save Elise too. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna have to be real dangerous here. Dark Shadow, are you double moving?
Nope, he has the same abilities as me. We do not suffer difficult terrain, and he is going
Since
to
they are both in their favored terrain of forest.
I keep remembering how, like, Laura Bailey kept saying, "This is my favorite terrain."
Oh man, this is when things get fucking nuts. This is kind of awesome. The 19 does hit. Give me one quick second.
10 little baby creatures jump out at Garchad. Warren, can you put the fire out?
Okay, he is just out of range of the current fire. He'll half that, and then it's a strength save.
I could try to. I think I could do it myself.
He fails the strength save.
So it is prone, and as Garchel bites into it,
Okay.
I am going to cast Prestidigitation to reduce that fire, if I can.
Hit Prestidigitation for me.
I know it says small campfires, so I'm saying I just want a corner.
You know what? What I'll do is with your Prestidigitation, you sort of bring about this mist that kind of closes in around it. It will not grow in size at the beginning of next round. It will stay that size. Sound good?
I will accept that.
Take that too.
This one is dead. And then are you going to move or are you going to stay where you're at?
I'm going to, since Valeria seems more intent on destruction right now, I'm going to use Healing Word on Dromond.
Poor Valeria. She was getting talked up so much too before.
I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because she had a beautiful vision of a forest and a lake, and then she sets the forest on fire.
It's awesome. I love this. You guys rock so much.
There you go. 9 more points of healing.
Specified with.
Man, that was almost a max heal too from Rudy. That's awesome. Good round, Rudy. Very good round. Elise, it is your turn. You are currently grappled as this large bone spearish sort of harpoon is in your midsection. You can try to break free, or you can attack where you're at. This creature is prone, and you're sort of standing next to it. What would you like to do?
Okay, so it's prone. I'm going to try to break free.
Okay, so give me acrobatics or athletics. Your
I'll go with acrobatics.
You grab a hold of the harpoon and you try to wrench it out, but the pain is too much. You are still stuck to this creature. You have a bonus action should you wish to.
Action Healing Word myself.
Okay. I like Drew Barrymore.
I like Drew Barrymore and Firestarter. I thought she was pretty rad as a child actress.
I'm more of
in
a
that
50
movie.
First Dates kind of guy.
Yeah, I like her in that.
Okay, at least give yourself 7 points of healing as you're trying to sort of keep this thing at bay. But you're watching as it's trying to get up off of the ground now. Thalion.
Save the day with your super hyper speed.
Oh, Thalion, as you move there, give me a dexterity saving throw. You're within the 5-foot aura of that fire as soon as you step.
oh,
Yeah, anybody adjacent to the fire has to make a dex save.
Okay, you will take only half of this. You'll take 5 points of fire damage as in your rush to get to Elise, hearing her screaming, you pay no heed to the flames as you sort of lower your shoulder. Just grin and bear it and thunder right through.
And I am definitely going to attack this thing while it's prone.
Okay. A 15 sadly misses.
I like to say sadly, but you're probably not that sad.
What the
I'm
heck?
pretty sad because I have a chance to kill a character that I don't want to kill. So it's like, as odd as it may sound, I literally root for you guys every fight. But it's really hard to challenge you guys if the last couple of fights haven't been evident. You guys are really hard to like make you feel in dire straits. So like when I put these things together, some of them say hard and deadly, but you guys blow through them, and I try not to walk that rope too much.
Well, in defense of your planning, it was actually a lot of damage. It was on me, which made it a little easier.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So,
there was like 36
it's-
damage would have knocked someone.
Like the bullet fight was really fun for me, just because I knew as soon as they got up into the ground, you guys would destroy them. But yeah, the 14 misses, the 19 does hit.
And that is my turn.
Okay. Oh man, Whew, things are gonna get awesome. Zirak, the fire is growing.
Yes, the fire is growing, and I'm going to steer well away from it. So I am going to move. That's a double move to get there.
Okay. Lamor.
Okay. Fire running rapid. I'm going to aim my glove at it and try to write a frost line, see if I can bring it down a few notches.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and make your attack. Go ahead and roll your damage. 11 is good. Magic is 10. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. As the fire shrinks in size. As your Iceman kind of goes over. You're going to stay there?
I'm gonna move up one more because I'm focused on it. That's it.
Drummond.
I'm gonna do 5 feet stand up. I'm gonna look at Valeria and Rudy and kind of give them a nod as I wipe the blood off my mouth. So I've got that pendant of produce water or whatever, and it produces a gallon of water. So I'm gonna spray that on the fire.
Okay. We send a jet of a gallon of water. A gallon of water to this flame. I'm going to say it reduces it in size with the help of the frost. You're slowly wrangling it up. Valeria.
Would you say that because of that it's kind of cleared right in that direction? Like,
I'll say the grass is burned, yes.
that would just, so I could get there for, like, without having it be difficult terrain, except for, like, but here, where I would probably
Yeah,
have to.
give me a quick sec. So, around this area where it was, well, I guess here too. The grass in this area has definitely been burned away, but the tree is still there.
Where's the tree?
These are trees. These are copses
Oh.
of trees and bushes.
5. Alright, so. Oh, I forgot my. There. And, could she see what's going on from right here, or not quite yet?
You can definitely see this isn't like a high boulder. It's just a low standing stone that's kind of like a flat granite shelf that's kind of been exposed over time that Thalion's currently standing on. Something you can easily step onto or walk over.
Yes, I'll.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, you're going to double move to the rock. Rovanian. Oh, I'm sorry, did you have a bonus action you wanted to use?
Yeah. I guess word on Elise. If I can see her from here.
You can see her. You can definitely see her.
At second level. I heal people. I don't just murder things.
Or burn down trees and forests.
That too.
Go ahead and re-roll that one. Re-roll both of them if you want. Okay, roll another d4. Alright, a little bit better. So instead of 5, it is 7. 7 points of healing relief.
Actually, I really appreciate the path. Thank you.
Moonlight.
Actually, my turn. Hey.
Oh, sorry, I did Rovanian.
Whoa.
I did it again.
Okay, so if my math's correct, going from here to here is going to be 20 feet, so that's half my movement. And then according to the measuring thingy, it's 10 feet to get to him, so 20, so
That's
that
20 feet.
I can get to him. They're right up in his face, and I'm going to attack him.
Okay.
With advantage, I'm guessing, since he's still prone.
Valeria, you have light, correct?
He's still prone, right?
Yes, Valeria, you still have light, correct? Or did you not cast that?
What happened to it? I had it on me. I guess it's not there anymore.
It's still on you. I see it.
I see the pink bubble on you.
Okay, it's just underneath your token, so that's why you can't see it. Okay, yes, he is definitely prone, so you...
I'll say now we have something to cry about. Maybe not.
16? Just hit.
Just hits? Yay!
Just hits.
Then I'll swing back around again and hit the abomination one more time, hopefully.
18 hits. The hard skin has turned into this sort of putty-like paste almost as the light gets closer.
Okay, now Moonlight.
Moonlight's just gonna hang out on the tent.
Okay. It's going to stand up for half its movement. It has really no choice right now since Rovanian was the last to hit it. It's going to attack Rovanian with it. The crying of this creature turns from this sort of manic, psychotic sound to almost a psychotic, laughing crying that's almost like Jokerish, losing his mind. It is unsettling. It almost seems to be happy, surrounded by people. 22.
Yeah, that hits.
Take 8 points of piercing damage, and I need Rovanian, Elise, and Garshadow to make wisdom saving.
Oh shoot, I don't know why I have that.
Oh no, not Garshadow, just Rovanian and Elise. So Rovanian, you fail. Elise? Okay, both fail. You guys take 11 points of psychic damage. Garshadow.
Garshadow is going to bite down again.
Seven. Okay.
Rudy is going to go up here, and she's going to. I assume it's small enough that I can just snuff it out. The fire.
Yes, I'll say right now it's about campfire size as it's dwindling from the frost and the water being poured on it. So, then it goes.
What happens is that I point the log that I have, and basically I draw the flame into that flame.
Oh, nice. I get it. Okay. I like it. Are you going to stay there?
Yes.
Okay. Elise, you are still attached to this construct. Oh, not construct. This monstrous creature. And it is just maniacally crying, if that's a thing. Like it's crying, like it's happy to be surrounded by people.
Yep. I'm gonna.
It's almost a dodge action there. What do you got going?
I'm gonna attack it with my rapier.
Okay.
Die.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I'm laugh crying.
Okay, so it's going to be 8 plus 7. No, 9 plus 7. 16.
And-
Wow, that took forever.
And then once again, I'm going to bonus action and heal myself with healing word.
Okay. Stallion.
I'm going to strike at its. Is there like the harpoons that are stuck in them? Are they like attached by stringy like flesh, or they just seem like the arms extended?
Right now, it's attached. The bone is attached to the arm, but you could have sworn that there was like some sinewy like rope attached to the harpoon that shot at least that was 50 feet away from.
Okay, I'll just go for the neck to see if I can behead it. Wow, I'm swinging badly.
I'm gonna. Just with 3 people in the way. You know what? I'm going to say as you go in and go in for the attack, there's just way too much going on. You lose grip of your glaive and it falls to the ground.
Okay, is it still my turn? Can I still pick it up? Am I losing my bonus action?
I'm going to say you lose your bonus action.
Okay, though, do I not pick it up on this turn, or?
You can pick it up at the beginning of your next turn.
Okay, Guard Shadow's going to bite as his
Okay.
reaction.
So 19 will hit. Zirak.
Sorry, my computer is barfing the last little bit, but I'm back. Just for fun, since it looks like the party is overwhelmingly successful in this encounter, and the wizard is gonna save his biggest powers, I guess. I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm gonna try one of my druid spells. So the creature needs to give me a con save.
Okay. He is somewhat a hardy creature. Oh, damn it. You know what? I'll start this after Zirak's turn. Okay, here comes the normal con save.
He has layer actions. Oh, damn.
He does succeed. Does he take half damage at all?
No, it's a cantrip, so he basically just breaks the frost off of him, or shrugs it off.
Okay, so...
And I'll go ahead and...
This creature has an ability called Psychic Leech. And I believe... Okay, so I need Gar Shadow and Elise. Give me another Wisdom saving throw. We're just retroactively doing this right now. Elise, Wisdom save. Okay. Elise, you take 17 points of psychic damage. Gar Shadow takes 8. And then Zirak, you're moving in?
Yeah, I'll move through the tall grass just behind Valeria to back up the group.
Okay. Damn it, that would have changed everything if I remembered to do that the first time around. Liam.
Okay, can I?
What does the Psychic Leech do?
It's just more of its crying reaching into your mind, so at the beginning of your turn you're taking it's almost like splash damage.
Okay, so I'll make one.
Yeah, at the beginning of your turn you're going to give me a Wisdom saving throw. Currently where you're at, you are obscured from sight, Leomorn, unless you have Spell Sniper, as those trees are cutting directly in the way, and only the grass was burnt by the brief brush fire.
Okay. I'm gonna pat
That's true, Drummond.
to the smug smile.
Drummond, give me a Wisdom saving throw.
Elise would have probably gone down too earlier.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. It's okay.
It's okay. There's like a lot going on at once.
Fair move. Heck.
No lightning bolt, okay? No lightning bolt.
Lightning.
I am not gonna do lightning.
Cast fireball right on it.
So Zarek, Valeria, Valiant, me, and Elise.
I'm instead going to put one hand out to the side, which
Which bolt?
Yeah.
Okay. 14 sadly misses. There's just way too much traffic in front of you, and it doesn't help that Thalion and Valeria are kind of standing on this rock, so they're just a little bit up taller than they usually are. And the magic weaves its way through and just misses the creature.
damn. That's all I'm gonna do.
Okay, Drummond, it is your turn. The fire has been snuffed out by Rudy.
I'm gonna just check it.
Okay. "16 is the magic number. It did a lot of damage. You gonna stay there?
No.
Cutting action to do anything?
I'll just use cutting action to dash and make sure I get far back.
Okay, sounds good. Valeria, it is your turn.
I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
Oh crap.
Oh, I
No,
didn't.
this-
It
For the
didn't
first time
happen this
tonight,
time.
you're on a guiding bolt roll
Oh.
too. This one flies over and just strikes the dwarven statue, sort of exploding part of it off. This part of it crumbles to the ground. And anything you got? What do you got going, Valeria? Bonus action, more movement.
Use another spell for a bonus action because I already used a spell. So fortunately, I can't heal.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Rovani, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. I'm not very wise.
You'll take 20 points of psychic damage.
Okay, I'm gonna for that headache. I'm going to attack it twice.
Okay. It's the crying from it. There's
Okay. I wondered
there's-
if that was going to have an effect.
There's it's not so much the regular crying before, it's this manic laughter that is just driving you into states of fear. It's bringing up memories of the tall, lanky, blade-fingered creature that used to be Thalion's friend. Instead of scaring you and frightening you, this thing is actually leeching from your mind and kind of driving you almost into your own sort of pained fear and madness, trying to shrink away from it. But this is much more potent than before.
Okay. Thank you. That's a great explanation.
Okay, so I did a 17 and did 17 points. Well, 9 slashing.
He is still alive.
Okay, I'll swing back around for another attack, hopefully.
22 hits. I think this is going to finish him off. And it does.
So I want to think that I basically cut his head off with the backhand of the sword.
You cut its head off, and it sort of quivers and starts moving backwards, and you feel the pull on your own skin as the harpoon is being dragged through. Even your rage, this thing is inside your body, and it hurts. Elise is screaming out in pain. and it roughly gets torn out of your bodies as it flows down. Both of you will just take 5 points of piercing. Ravanian, you half that to 2. And with that, sort of recedes. The darkness sort of encloses around you all as your heightened senses caused by this battle and all of the atmospheric stimulation from the lights and the heat and the screaming and the smells of the blood and the fear begin to ebb. You guys feel incredibly tired. Some of you are in a lot of pain, and that's where we're going to end it tonight. Because I didn't realize we almost went an hour over. So.
I actually didn't notice the time until about 3 minutes ago. So, yeah, I was really wrapped up in this. This is a good job.
Yeah, this is a fun fight, but I have to go.
I was really hoping that fire was going to keep growing, because that would have been awesome.
I would have ran around it and used it to keep my rage, but then I would have been trapped.
But thank you guys. That was a lot of fun. We're going to pick back up here at camp next time at the end of the battle. I will post experience for this either tomorrow or Thursday. And then that way you guys can add it to your sheet, since you will be taking a long rest after this. And hopefully I'm getting more of you closer and closer to level 6.
I'm far away still. Where are you guys at, actually, out of curiosity?
I hit 6
I'm,
after
like,
the
still-
Ellen fight.
I'm 5,000 away. That's fine.
I really fucking hate this place, she says. There's got to be one fight where I pick on the flying guys.
Well, it's because usually flying has been like, I'm safe because I'm flying, but then we saw in Kin's game where our flyer got killed.
I don't know. I've been knocked out of the sky and nearly killed a few times flying. So.
I knocked you out of the sky once. What are you talking about?
No, I've been knocked down 3 times.
I just like how our warlock was flying and got killed by
Remember
a
back in the
specter.
garden, and then there was one more time in the sewer. There was sewers, the garden, fighting against those cultists with the freaking crazy ninja chicks, and then there was the kid.
Oh yeah, the
And now
ninja chicks with their slings. That was pretty awesome. The fun thing about this creature is that it has a 60-foot
I died
reach.
then.
Has a 60-foot reach with its his bone harpoon.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for
Good night, everybody. I'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.